We welcome you to Big 12 Now College Football on ESPN+. College football, it is back in a big way in Stillwater, Oklahoma. A lot of anticipation for the upcoming season. This is believed to be the first time in program history that they have sold out of pre-sale season tickets at Boone Pickens Stadium. And here come the Cowboys as we welcome you inside Boone Pickens Stadium for week 1 of college football. OSU taking on Central Arkansas, a preseason top 25 team in the FCS polls. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher alongside the former All-Pro offensive tackle Brad Hopkins. A lot of anticipation for this upcoming season, but Brad, a lot of uncertainty as well with all the new faces here at OSU.
There's some uncertainty, but Alan Bowman, he knows exactly who he is at quarterback. This guy's thrown for over 5,000 yards. He's been a former All Big 12 candidate before in 19 and 20, so he's definitely worth starting tonight.
One of the 20 new transfers coming over, 15 from the portal, 5 JUCO, 31 new scholarship players. Mike Gundy told us in his 19th season coaching college football, he's never had this many new faces on the roster going into one season. And with that, he also told us week 1 will be the first time that they've played this many guys in one game. We are still trying to figure out who the starting quarterback is going to be tonight because, Brad, 3 guys have been in the mix all fall camp.
Absolutely. Garrett has been one candidate. We just talked about Alan Bowman. Gunner, Mr. Gundy's son. He's actually in the lineup too. Had a tremendous college career, high school career. 12-1 as a high school kid there, basically. But Alan Bowman definitely been in this situation before, gone up against the likes of Big 12 talent before. He can definitely get it done if he's called on tonight.
Well, Alan Bowman actually started his career in the Big 12 at Texas Tech, and he put up gaudy numbers. Of course, he was the Big 12 Freshman Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, I expect him to totally be able to throw the ball around. Those big bodies up front, if they keep him protected and give him a chance to be able to do his magic, I expect big things from the Cowboys tonight.
And here we go from Stillwater. Jaden Nixon and Brennan Presley back to return. It is Presley met at the 20. OSU won the toss and elected to receive. And we will get our first look at who the starting quarterback is tonight for OSU.
Yeah, it's like Garrett Rangel.
Yeah, Garrett Rangel. How about that? So Alan Bowman will watch at least the first series from the sideline. Rangel played in 4 games last year, starting 3 for the injured Spencer Sanders. Ollie Gordon is his running back. And a handoff goes to Gordon. Flushing it out about 3 or 4 yards on first down. So how about that? Garrett Rangel getting the start. And Brad, he's surprised. He was the surprise of fall camp because so many outside the program and just anticipated Bowman coming in and winning that starting job.
Yeah, but against Kansas, he threw for over 304 yards, had a couple of touchdowns as a freshman. He did some really good things early, so it doesn't surprise me that he's in the starting lineup right now.
A handoff again, up the middle. And 3 yards in a cloud of dust brings up 3rd and short.
It's called the meat tenderizer right here, man.
Ollie Gordon, the sophomore, 3rd leading rusher a season ago. Getting the start at running back tonight for OSU. 3rd and 3. Rangel's first pass of 2023 is caught for a first down.
That's one of those nice tiny rows.
Stribling, the transfer from Washington State, hauls it in.
Absolutely. Coach Gundy talked about him having a huge impact, and we see his early impact right now in that dig route.
Rangel, lots of time, and again finds Stribling. Big pickup on first down. 15 yards.
They're moving with pace, too. Getting lined up. Getting the ball snapped here. As you can see, he's kind of freezing the defense. Fine Stribling on the right for a nice completion and continuing the drive.
This time flushed out of the pocket. Rangel showing some wheels and gets to the sideline and then hit late. But no flag comes in. Well, Brad, it's interesting to see Rangel out of the shotgun because we were talking with Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator, coming into the game today, told us we'd see a lot more of OSU under center in 2023.
Yeah, I think that was their inability to run the football makes them want to be able to be more multiplicity. Is that even a word? Well, it is today. We'll see him under center a lot, and they're trying to get that run game going.
We're going to see it in the Webster Dictionary after after the holiday on Monday. 3-back set here. Jaden Nixon into the ball game. And some miscommunication there between Jaden Bray and Garrett Rangel.
Now Jaden looking to maybe run that fade route, heading towards the end zone.
A wide receiver, one of those position groups where there is a lot of competition to get on the field. Jaden Bray, a guy that broke his thumb 3 times last year. They expect him to be a big contributor in 2023. And they do find Bray again on another first down for Garrett Rangel.
Garrett Rangel using that snap count, getting those edge rushers that are already trying to.
Offside, number 30. Defense, that penalty is declined. Result of play, first down.
Yeah, that's Darius Cobbs. Buck Cobbs trying to get a little bit of bead on that snap count. Yeah, he tried to get reset, but a little too late. That gave Rangel at least a look downfield to see what he had on a free play.
One of the questions coming in, at least in this matchup, how would UCA's defensive line hold up against Oklahoma State's offensive line and the size of Big 12 linemen? Stop, start to the sideline, and Nixon brought down after a pickup of 6.
Second team All Big 12 last year, academic. Honorable mention, Offensive Player of the Year, Offensive Freshman of the Year. Mr. Nixon. Starting and stopping right there.
And now we'll see the Michigan State transfer Elijah Collins at running back. First play in an OSU uniform. And they'll give it to him. Collins weaving his way towards the marker. Picks up 2 and brings up another third down and short.
Credit Cameron Godfrey for bringing the edge right there. Saw Josiah Jefferson go in motion. Thought they were going to have an extra blocker there, but nice heady play. Spilling the runner back inside and letting the boys eat.
10th play of the drive upcoming. Casey Dunn told us this year we'd see a lot more sustained drives. At least that's the hope for OSU.
So 12 personnel down there.
And a tackle in the backfield, pickup of 1 is what they will give them. And that brings up 4th and short from about the 30-yard line.
Yeah, those D linemen, they knew with 12 personnel with 2 tight ends in there, there was probably going to be a run situation. So they were able to key in looking in that backfield and make a stop.
It's actually a loss of 1. And now Ollie Gordon comes back into the ball game. It looks like they're going to go for it here on 4th down. So an early test for Garrett Rangel in this Cowboys offense. Play action. Pressure coming.
Oh my goodness.
Batted away and intercepted. Picked off by Demetrius Charles. And Central Arkansas, after getting buzzed on the first 10 plays of the game, picks up a turnover.
Yeah, you'll see here in a second. Jake Galladay got his hands on that. Garrett Rangel was trying to wait for that route to develop, looking for his guy over there in the flat, maybe even as an out route. But either way, the ball get tipped at the line of scrimmage. What a tremendous play.
And a surprising end to a successful drive, at least to start for OSU. We'll step aside in Stillwater. Central Arkansas on its heels defensively on the opening drive, and then on the 11th play, an interception to turn over the football. And Nathan Brown told us, Brad, coming into the weekend, some teams you're just trying to get out of these Power 5 games alive, but he feels like this team is talented enough to swing for the fences tonight.
This is an experienced team, one that can definitely take advantage of turnovers, and turnovers could be the difference when you're outmatched, like going up against the Big 12.
Darius Hale on the pickup, a gain of 4 on first down. Will McIlvain, second-year starter, first time in his career that he is playing back-to-back seasons with the same offensive coordinator. Played 3 years at Northern Iowa, had a different OC every single season. And here he is over the middle, complete at the 50-yard line by Miles Butler. Gain of 12 and a first down.
Good timing on that dig route. You can see him comfortable in the pocket. knew where he was going with the football. It didn't matter if the secondary knew it all. Good timing, and you can definitely see how that can definitely move the chains. First down.
McElvain has played in these big games against Iowa State when he was at UNI and against Ole Miss last year. Shenderick Powell, a pickup of 5, a transfer from North Alabama. And folks, get used to hearing these running backs' names for Central Arkansas. They have 2 All-Americans in Powell and Hale.
Yeah, Powell is more that lightning. You know, I always do that thunder and lightning analogy. Well, that's Mr. Powell in this situation.
Dancing
and
away
as you
from
can see right here.
Powell still on his feet down the sideline, and Powell taken out finally by Trey Rucker.
Almost had to credit Big Josh George for getting the tackle there. That's his lineman that's supposed to be blocking. He dipped and dodged and used that great footwork to find the edge. Shifted gears too once he got on the outside. There you go, big boy, get out of the way.
Pickup of 25 for Powell, and just like that, the Bears are within striking distance. Darius Hale back into the ball game at running back, and they give it to him. And he muscles his way ahead for about 4. Tackled by Colin Clay.
Yeah, I like that running back depth though too. You got Darius Hale and Powell like you just mentioned. Kylan James will see someone in the lineup. Isaiah Broadway might get a touch or 2.
Play action to Hale, now over the middle and caught for a touchdown. Christian Richmond, but there is a flag down, and it looks like an illegal wide receiver, which will bring this back. What a catch though by Christian Richmond.
Ineligible player downfield, number 68. Offense, 5-yard penalty.
So the left tackle Frazier Rose negates the touchdown.
That's their big stud left tackle, 6'6", 305. As you can see, he missed his block, and then just if he didn't miss his block, he wouldn't have stumbled downfield. It's unfortunate. It wasn't like he was lost. He just the defensive lineman arm overed him, right, and he missed him, kind of whiffed, and it just stumbled him into the secondary. It was totally unfortunate.
You ever have that happen?
No. That's a terrible way to take a touchdown off the board.
Here's Kylan James. Kylan James walks into the end zone. And there is a flag down again.
No! I know what it's on, too. Big 4-7. Austin Eldridge.
Is this going to be back-to-back touchdowns?
I'm telling you, Austin Eldridge, he laid a guy out. It's called a blindside block. The defender never saw him coming, and I'm excited about it, but you can't do that anymore. This is old school rules.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, number 47. Offense, 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still second down.
Wow.
You hate to see 2 touchdowns come off the board in that fashion.
How impressive is it, though, for UCA? Back-to-back plays, back-to-back touchdowns. Yes, they're called back, but surely it's got to give you some confidence that you're able to run your stuff against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, you can see it right
There's
here.
the look at 47.
And he even put his hands up to show you, hey, look, I could have done worse. You know, the guy could be sleeping right now, but I didn't do it.
So that brings up a long second down, 2nd and 17. Ball on the 30. Will McElvain has thrown a couple of darts on this opening drive. Play action, going deep,
look at this
looking for Barnes.
Nice fade route, too. He was covered well.
Yep, Corey Black on the coverage, one of 2 returners on defense for OSU who started every game last year. It is an OSU defense that lost 9 starters to the portal or graduation, so they are figuring things out on this side of the ball as well.
Yeah, he and Xavier Benson are old man River on that defense.
3rd and 17.
Previous play is under review for 12 players on the defense.
This is week 1. This is week 1, everybody. Bear with us. Bottom of your screen right there, 71. That's Aiden Kelly. Runs on. And nope, didn't get off before the snap.
A little miscommunication. Thought he was in on the package. Somebody probably told him he was in. Realized he wasn't because his position was already filled. And guess what? 12 men on the field will cost you.
Brad, what do you make of the way that Central Arkansas, yes, they had both touchdowns called back, but the way that they're running their offense here?
They are not intimidated one bit. We heard them mention tempo, right? Getting up to the line of scrimmage. Tough plays. We've seen them taking deep shots. We've also seen them soften the interior of that defensive front, right? These guys are getting after. You mentioned Hale and Powell being the 1-2 punch. Thunder and Lightning is here to stay right now.
Well, you mentioned size. So this offensive line for Central Arkansas, 8 returners who have started. They average 6'4", 310 pounds across the front.
Absolutely. Jacob Cox, the center. He's the shrimp at 6'3". But you've got a couple of preseason all-conference players in there, and Justin Larry on the edges. Of course, Frazier Rose, he's one of those two. Will Diggins, he was the ASUN Freshman of the Year in 2022. He's athletic, quick.
As a guard.
As a guard.
After review, the 12th player was not off the field. Therefore, it's an illegal substitution on the defense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
So instead of 3rd and 17, it is 2nd and 12.
Big Dalton Cooper couldn't get the 10 off the field.
So what does Nathan Brown try to dial up here for Central Arkansas? He has coached 4 of the top 6 offensive seasons in program history, and he quarterbacked the other 2. This is a guy that wants to score and score quickly for Central Arkansas. And he was a heck of a quarterback too for the Bears. Had a cup of coffee in the NFL. Here we go on 2nd down. Quick throw out to Cam Robinson.
Nice completion, getting the ball to the flat to your playmakers. Seven yards in bad on completion there. Keep the chains moving. 3rd manageable is your friend, especially in a situation in a tough environment like Boone Pickens Stadium.
Sellout crowd on 3rd and 5. McElvain.
Oh, we got
and a flag. That'll be pass interference. It was Trey Rucker on the coverage.
It's number 14.
Miles Butler, the
Pass
intended
interference,
receiver.
number 9. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Boy, we've had more penalties in this section of the field in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, kind of got caught peeking there and grabbing. You saw their feet got tangled up a little bit. Miles knew it from the very beginning. Made sure the flag came out on that one.
So 2 penalties on each team on this drive. And now Central Arkansas, who's already had 2 touchdowns called back on this drive, will have it 1st down and 3 on the 3.
Correction, that penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul. It'll be enforced at the spot of the foul. Still a 1st down.
Well, you gotta love the composure of Will McElvain. 2nd-year starter. 2nd-year transfer from Northern Iowa, a terrific FCS program. Was 2nd in the ASUN last year in yards and completions. Shonderick Powell in the backfield, as is Kylan James. Fade route to the end zone, and it's out of the back of the end zone, but again, another flag on the play.
Might be on the Oklahoma State defense for hands and face. And every time the lineman's helmet comes off, it's not good on that side.
Illegal formation, more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
Well, there's that.
Again, it's week 1. But that is. Go ahead.
I give them a lot of credit putting together this drive that's keeping them on the field this long. Think about that. The longer that the defense stays on the field, that's not good. They get tired. Those big bodies, they're exhausted. They don't like these 10, 11 play drives. They eat up clock. And that's exactly what Nathan Brown and this offense are doing.
97 degrees for a high today in Stillwater. Over 100 on the field before kickoff. And a timeout. We'll press pause on this drive.
Central Arkansas calls their first charge timeout of the half. Timeout on the field.
Step aside with them. Central Arkansas driving in enemy territory. Back with some Big 12 football on Big 12 now. A beautiful scenic of Lake Carl Blackwell, just west of town. And that looks nice to jump into on a hot September night here in Stillwater. Oklahoma State trying to get off the field and avoid giving up a touchdown. Handoff and immediately met in the backfield. It is Nicholas Martin blowing it up for the Cowboys, and a loss of 2.
That was a nice run blitz. He was coming in like a heat-seeking missile. Powell didn't have anywhere to go. See right here the motion, kind of softening up the defense, like you just mentioned. He was trained to tackle.
That's the first big play defensively that we've seen from OSU on this drive. 14 snaps for Central Arkansas. This is their 10th play of the drive. Second down and 13. McElvain dumps it off to Powell, and he is met just inside the 10 by DJ McKinney, the redshirt freshman out of Colleyville, Texas.
Almost had a face mask there, I thought, at the end of the play.
Now he's a guy that first-year defensive coordinator Brian Nardo said we've got to find ways to get him on the field.
He played a little in 2022. Got a little experience.
Third and long here. 2 touchdowns already called back on this drive for Central Arkansas.
Not really communicating that well up front. This is the same situation that got them with 12 men on the field the last time. Of course, this time the officials aren't going to let the clock go, let it go until they get set.
Central Arkansas has called their second charge timeout. Should be a 30-second timeout.
Well, that's interesting. Second time out of the half, and we're not even out of the first quarter.
Probably saw the substitution, didn't like the look that they had. We're going to change it up a little bit. Maybe saw a little disadvantage there. Maybe that's exactly why their substitution was late. Saw the formation that Central Arkansas, that UCA was putting out there, and they, hey, let's get us another big body in here to slow down the run.
Also speaks to the importance of this drive for the Bears. An opportunity to capitalize off of a turnover. If you can remember that, seems like it was an eternity ago.
Yeah. Demetrius Charles' his interception off the Jake Galladay tip earlier in the first quarter.
Brian Nardo up in the coach's box in there somewhere. The windows are tinted and the sun is shining. In his first season as the defensive coordinator, coming up from the Division II level, has a big 3rd down and 10 here for his Cowboy defense. McElvain airs it out. Barnes almost hauled it in with one hand. Well defended by Trey Rucker, and it brings up 4th down.
That's some tremendous coverage. Right in the shadow. But if you think about it, McElvain put the ball only where his receiver could make a play. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough stickum on his glove to bring it in. As you can see here, though, good thing he turns around looking for the ball, so you don't see any sort of pass interference or illegal contact. Both trying to make a play on the ball, and I tell you what, it could have been a tremendous play right there if that was a completion. That would have been one of those dun-dun-dun from Garrett Barnes. Oh, high snap.
Oh, and it's blocked.
Exactly.
28-yard field goal attempt blocked by this Oklahoma State special teams unit. And so after all of that, no points for Central Arkansas.
Yeah, I think that was Chandler Coffin. A little high on the snap. Will's got a, actually, not Will, hold on.
Corey Black on the block too. What a play.
Jake Ward's got to come up out of his stance to try and catch the ball. It screws the timing up.
Look at this from Corey Black, coming off the edge, stopping the Bears' attempt at points. And we're still knotted up at 0 in Stillwater. A 10-play drive for Central Arkansas, which had 2 touchdowns called back, ends like this. Corey Black blocking the field goal attempt, and it gives it back to OSU. Still no score in this game.
It's like Tristan Oliver didn't even think to block the edge right there. He just came off unblocked, basically.
What a wacky start. We had a 11-play drive for OSU to start the ball game, resulted in a turnover. Then Central Arkansas drives the field, scores 2 touchdowns of 20 yards or more, has them both called back, and then a field goal blocked, and we are scoreless with 5:40 left in the first quarter. Garrett Rangel back at quarterback for OSU. And he floats it down the sideline. Caught by Stribling at the 50.
And actually, Stribling had to wait on that one. It was not an untimed ball, but it definitely wasn't out there in front of him where he could have just kept it and kept running. Catch it and kept running.
30-yard completion to the Washington State transfer. Rangel on play action all the time in the world. And now floats it out of play.
Yeah, you can see right here, man coverage. He goes up and makes a big play. And you can expect that from a big play receiver like Stribling. And I can definitely see Rangel taking advantage of that height mismatch advantage too.
6'3", 205, Stan Stribling led Washington State in all receiving categories last year. Rangel flushed, floats it to the sideline, and a first down and more inside the 30 for OSU. And it's Ollie Gordon on a pickup of 22.
Yeah, I'd say Christian Richmond's having a rough series out there in that right cornerback spot. He's shining shoes out there. This is his tackle to make. I'm sorry.
Rangel quickly out to the sideline again, this time a nominal pickup to Brennan Presley, the leading receiver in 2022. The Big 12 preseason receiver of the year. 7th straight pass attempt. And it's caught by Jaden Bray. And he's unable to get out of the tackle.
It's a nice catch by Jaden Bray, but it's also a great tackle by Jared Barnes. He kept a hold of him after, well, I thought initially was a broken tackle. Holds onto his ankle till the cavalry arrives and gets him down.
Rangel takes off. Blockers ahead of him. And he scampers up to the 10 for a first down.
Taylor Materko, he's like, big body, you need to get out of the way if you're not blocking for me. A called draw, obviously. The Red Sea's parted. Gets a couple extra yards on his offensive lineman's back.
Rangel whips it out to Gordon, and he is upended by Tamarion Wilson, the FCS All-American from a season ago.
Leading tackler from 2021 and 2022. All-American. Led the ASUN in tackles, and you can see why right there. Coming in like a hate-seeking missile shoot.
So Gordon will take a seat. Jaden Nixon back into the ball game at running back for the Cowboys. Presley in motion. And they flip it to Presley. Presley, sidestep, touchdown OSU. The leading receiver from 2022 puts the Cowboys on the board first in 2023.
I think that motion kind of told them whether they were in zone or man. Obviously, a little dump pass to the flat. Missed tackles. Next thing you know, receivers in the end zone.
Alex Hale on for the PAT. An 11-yard reception for a touchdown for Brennan Presley.
Second team All Big 12. He's also a huge returner for this team. He was All Big 12 returner in 2021.
And way to capitalize if you're Garrett Rangel in this OSU offense. First drive ends in an interception. Second drive, you get it off a blocked kick.
Yeah, just, you know, simple, not even a screen, really. In the flat by himself, a couple of missed tackles, and Brennan finds himself in the end zone. But he's also a shifty ball carrier. That's why he's so huge in the return game. Ranked amongst the top 5 in receptions per game in 2022. So he figures to be big in this offense in 2023. But I like the tempo shoot. They're running a lot of no huddle, a lot of get up to the line, snap the ball.
Which we did not anticipate coming into this game. Casey Dunn told us you will not see us run nearly as many plays this year as you did last year. But so far, looks a lot like the offense from a season ago.
But balanced.
True.
The second part of the season last year, we saw the run game basically disappear, probably due to injury. But we see a balanced offense right now, creating tempo that kept UCA on their heels.
Isaiah Broadway and Christian Richmond back to receive. And it is Richmond on the edge of the goal line.
Yeah.
And he's upended just across the 10-yard line. Big time special teams play by the Cowboys. And that was Parker Robertson blowing it up. Well, next Saturday, it's a Big 12 football tripleheader on ESPN+. You could start your day with Rad Night, 2 p.m. Central, out west. BYU hosting Southern Utah, then 5 p.m. West Virginia takes on Duquesne in Morgantown. And then the nightcap, the 17th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs play host to Nichols. For more information about these games as well as other sports across the Big 12, go to ESPNplus.com/Big 12.
I hate to be Nichols.
Yeah, they might not be the 17th ranked TCU Horned Frogs next week. How good was that game today between Colorado, a future Big 12 team, and TCU?
I mean, did they get prime time or what? I think they did.
Shedeur Sanders, a record at quarterback, record-breaking day in his first game in a Buffs uniform.
One thing I saw evident in that game was the Buffs' speed,
which you would expect being coached by one of the fastest players in the history of the NFL. Here is McIlvain on second down, whips it out wide. And it is Richmond getting it just across the 15 for a gain of 5. So that brings up 3rd down and long. Sellout crowd at Boone Pickens Stadium.
It's 4 wide spread right here.
On play action, batted down again. And the defensive line comes up big. That's Justin Kirkland. Baby Hulk, they call him.
Rightfully so. You got superhero strength. Anytime you can do 225 40 times, bro. Yeah, they say that if you can't get there, get your hands up, right? He's clearly blocked here. If there was a run, he wasn't going anywhere. But he wasn't getting there with the pass rush. Batting the ball down is just as good. Offensive linemen hate that.
Justin Kirkland, the biggest human on the team at 346. They say he can hit a golf ball 500 yards.
They say he plays tennis.
They say he does a lot. He's like a mythical creature here at OSU. Brennan Presley waving for a fair catch. Gets it inside the 40. Well, Colorado surprising a lot of teams across the country and a lot of people across the country, winning 45-42 on the road. Meanwhile, Iowa State handling business against Northern Iowa. Oklahoma, man, did they look the part against Arkansas State today, 73-zip.
I think in the TCU game, the unknown may have gotten the Horned Frogs, right? We really didn't know what Deion was going to put on the field this year via talent, but obviously it came through in the clutchest of moments, keeping it close, put more pressure on TCU to respond, and they just couldn't.
Garrett Rangel running this offense, all time to throw. And now he rolls away and wisely chucks it out of bounds. Your thoughts on the way that Garrett Rangel has operated through 2 series?
Well, I will say that his offensive line has given him the luxury of going through 2 and 3 progressions, finding the open receiver when need be, but also being smart, Shu, and just throwing it away when he doesn't have anything downfield.
You would call out the offensive line.
Hey, are you kidding me? When the guy's back there watching the sand clock, you know, this, like sand, whatever that thing is, the eyes and sand.
Hourglass.
Hourglass. You know what I'm talking about. That's why I got you here.
I'm with you. Handoff goes up the middle to Nixon. And he picks up 5 yards. There's so much talk around this program, around the city of Stillwater, about who would get the first snap. at quarterback tonight? Would it be Alan Bowman? Would it be Garrett Rangel? Remember, Bowman was the highly touted transfer from Michigan, but it is Garrett Rangel who, at least for now, is the starter for OSU. We do expect to see Bowman later on tonight, though. And Rangel dumps it down to Quentin Stewart, and the big fella rumbles down the far sideline for a big pickup on 3rd and 5.
6'2", 255 out of Salina, Kansas Central High School there. Played in 11 games last year.
Looks like the play's coming back, though. A flag in the backfield will negate a 21-yard pickup.
You hate to see that.
Personal foul, targeting number 67, offense. Previous plays under review.
That's Cole Birmingham.
I'm going to check and see if there might be an ejection here.
And Cole Birmingham, big left tackle, 6'5", 325.
Former guard in 2020.
Guy who missed a couple of seasons with an ACL tear, replacing Caleb Etienne at left tackle.
Let's see what we got here.
I don't know about that.
Oh, right here. That's exactly what it was.
At the end of the play,
Buck Cobbs is on the ground. You can't finish him like that anymore. Nah, that was the message sender back in the day, but you can't do that in today's game.
Here's another look at it.
He did just enough to get Buck pushed by, but once Buck becomes basically out of the play, there's no real need for him to finish him like that. And you can see right here, he just kind of probably even put his helmet down, which you might even, if he puts his helmet down, this is going to be ugly, because you're going to lose your left tackle, and then in comes Dalton Cooper, who we saw earlier in this matchup almost playing a member of the defense. Still getting involved. See what the officials come up with. Yeah. And Cole Birmingham, he did miss 2022. He was injured. Started every game in 2021, though. So here's an experienced offensive lineman that, they'd hate to miss. Yeah, you know what? He didn't even really. It was the intent. Nah, I don't see this being.
I don't either.
I don't see it being ejectionable. I don't think so.
I mean, it almost looked like he lost his footing at the end.
No, he intended to go ahead and splash him, but the defender kind of rolled out of the way a little bit. See how he kind of splashed there? He was fully intending to create some malice. And I think that's what the official saw. He saw the intent, and it wasn't helmet to helmet, but his elbow or part of his arm did come in contact with his helmet. Then again, looking at it again, it might have even been helmet to helmet now. And Cole did lower his head, too, at the end there, so.
This is an Oklahoma State offense that was the least penalized offense in the country last year.
Yeah, but you can see with so many new players, so much different chemistry, cohesion, all that stuff. Just even learning new quarterbacks, right? Their cadence, listening to him, his nuances. It's just, they got to get comfortable with one another.
31 new scholarship players. They lost 17 starters from offense and defense a year ago. To your point, Cole Birmingham was not playing last year because he was dealing with an ACL.
This is a hard one, obviously, for him to call. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let's go. No harm, no foul.
Week 1 pass.
Yeah, I mean, it was a missed bullet, It didn't hit him.
All right, so here comes our referee, Michael Vandervelde.
Hopefully Mr. Birmingham can stay in the game.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. However, there is an unnecessary roughness foul that is enforced. Still 3rd down.
I don't think that could have worked out any better.
They caught him, not for Mr. Birmingham.
They caught him for the intent, right? Sure, we saw what he was trying to do. But since it didn't really come in contact with him, yeah, you know what? Unnecessary roughness is what you get, pal. See the bailiff on your way out.
Big 3rd down here for this Central Arkansas defense. 3rd and 20 for Garrett Rangel and the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think King Collins has many things dialed up for 3rd and 20. It's the offensive coordinator there at UCA.
Jaden Nixon in the backfield for the Cowboys. 3 wide receivers to the right for Garrett Rangel. On 3rd and long, dumps it down. Nixon scampering, headed towards the sticks, and now maybe you go for it if you're Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
And this is where you totally take advantage of the spread out defense, thinking that you're going to go deep because you got 20 yards to complete a 1st down, right? And then the underneath stuff with Jaden Nixon just really eats you. 2nd team All Big 12. We talked about that as an academician, so he's pretty smart. We know how shifty he is with the ball in his hands, but comes up short either way. I like the play. Almost converted.
So it'll be Wes Paul on to punt, the Western Kentucky transfer. He has never punted in a collegiate game. 3 years at Western Kentucky as a holder.
I'd say he did pretty good right
there. What a punt, and it just rolls into the end zone. Almost down at the inch line, but instead it's a touchback on a 54-yard punt by Wes Paul.
It's unfortunate that no one was even in the vicinity to down that ball. Because if you think about it, what a booming punt. It's exactly what you want. I mean, you can see a good second effort there, but it seemed like they always tell you to get to the end zone, get your feet on the end line of the end zone, right? So that way if the ball is close, you can tap it back in. Run to the end zone. Run to the end zone.
Third drive of the game for Will McIlvain and this UCA offense. And a quick throw.
Nice screen.
Big pickup on 1st down by Miles Butler, who has been a favorite target of Will McIlvain to start the game. And that'll take us to the end of the 1st period here in Stillwater. 2 touchdowns called back for Central Arkansas on their 1st drive. And Brennan Presley hooking up with Garrett Rangel for an 11-yard touchdown to give OSU a 7-0 lead on opening night in Stillwater. Football is back in a big way in Stillwater, Oklahoma, on the campus of OSU. The game summer, it's been a wacky one. 47-minute 1st quarter. Central Arkansas went 11 plays for 59 yards on their 1st drive and had 2 touchdowns called back. They trail at 7-zip as we start the 2nd frame from Boone Pickens. Underneath to Powell on the screen, and it's a 1st down for the North Alabama transfer.
And you know what, Shu? I wouldn't say it's sloppy football. It's some unfortunate situations that have stalled out drives or caused some big plays, but for the most part, it's been nip and tuck on both sides.
Competitive.
Yeah, extremely. Should it be that way?
Powell stuffed at the line. A pickup of 1 maybe on 1st down.
I take that back.
The funny thing is, Brad, Nathan Brown told us, the head coach for Central Arkansas, I've got guys on my team that I believe are Power 5. But the big thing is, he said they believe they're Power 5 talent.
See, you were just thinking what I was thinking. I wanted to take back what I said. Should the score be close? Yes, it should. Why? Because they're All-Americans, whether they're Division III level, Northwest Conference, All-Americans, whatever it is. They're still competitive players that are out here showing their stuff.
And they have multiple All-Americans on this team. 7 returning all-conference players.
Oh!
And a flip. Goes off the mitts of Shunderick Powell.
It's a forward pass.
And it is an incomplete pass. You're right. As much as OSU and Justin Wright wanted to take credit for a fumble recovery.
You saw that. Oh, the line. Yeah, exactly.
He got tripped up by the left tackle, Frazier Rose.
Yeah, got pushed back a little bit. Got their feet tangled up, screwed up the timing of the screen. But still an incompletion.
Central Arkansas 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions in this game. 3rd and 9 here. McIlvain flushed and just has to throw it away.
Good coverage, and obviously the pressure coming from the strong side. Flush McElwain with nowhere to go with it. Good thing he didn't try and force it in anywhere, right? Cause a turnover.
Composed guy. And that's what Nathan Brown and Ken Collins, the offensive coordinator for Central Arkansas, both said about their quarterback. Just composed. And a guy that they feel can lead them to be competitive in a game like this. Chandler Carrin into punt. And Brennan Presley back to receive.
Another good punt.
Presley will field it and immediately gets taken down just in front of the 20. A punt of 45 yards for Carrin. Andrew Hayes on the tackle. It'll be OSU football when we return in Stillwater. All right, folks, so we saw 1/4 of Garrett Rangel and a touchdown. And now might we see Alan Bowman? No, I don't think we are. Just warming up and headed back to the sideline. But Bowman, we do expect to see tonight. The transfer from Michigan by way of Texas Tech, the subject of all the conversation this fall in Stillwater, the quarterback battle. As Rangel is back in, and it's a draw to Elijah Collins and a big pickup. 6 on first down for Collins, the Michigan State transfer, tackled by Jake Golday.
Right. He's their linebacker defensive end role. He, as Greg Stewart likes to call him, he's one of their dogs.
Guy they feel like could play in the NFL one day, a superstar in the making. On second down, Rangel, a design run, and takes it to the sticks. How about that?
That's some good play action right there, boy. Ooh, I'm looking at the ball carrier.
Garrett Rangel had 26 rushes last year for -5 yards. He's positive today, and we haven't even played the first half.
Read it tremendously. He read the end crashing there. That was DJ McKinney. No, actually, that was
David Walker.
Yep. David Walker coming off the edge.
Another one of their All-Americans.
Garrett read it splendidly to get that extra yardage.
Loss of 1 brings up 4th down.
David Walker.
Well, they have All-Americans at all 3 levels on defense. On the line with Logan Jessup coming off the edge, playing that hybrid linebacker role with David Walker, and then on the back end in the secondary with Tamarion Wilson.
Yeah.
All 3 are preseason All-Americans at the FCS level.
And that's what gives them the confidence to play in big games like this, because they know they have the talent.
Gerard Barnes taken down inside the 15. And again, Parker Robertson, who's made 2 really nice plays on special teams tonight. So Nathan Brown's offense will try to get a touchdown when we return.
I feel great. I feel like the defense and the offense are clicking at high cylinders. There's no really bust. It's more of a mutual understanding of everybody knowing their assignment and role. So that makes it a lot easier. So it's like a quicker, cleaner, more crisp, more situational practices. Whereas it's like you're not wasting no time of adjusting during the practice. You're just like, that was a good play. He beat us on that right there. We can make new adjustments on new stuff that we haven't seen. So I just feel like we're ahead of our time than we was last year, to be honest.
Nobody was getting ahead on that play. Xavier Benson talking about his defense. Xavier Ross making the tackle. Benson, one of 2 returning defensive players to start every game last year. And you know, it was interesting, we were talking with Brian Nardo, the defensive coordinator, in his first year at OSU, and he told us, Brad, on all the good defenses that he's coached, he's had at least 25 guys regularly playing. We expect to see depth this year defensively, and another big-time takedown. That time it was Nathan Latu and his teammate Donovan Stevens on the sack.
Yeah, it's good to be able to create pressure without bringing too many. The front 7 really get after it, giving McElwain no time to find anybody, basically.
As So now it's 3rd and 18 for Will McIlvain in this UCA offense. Backed up inside their own 10. And now a flag on the field. An illegal substitution. Oh, check that. It was a delay of game on McIlvain. 4th penalty on this Bears offense. Remember, they had 2 touchdowns called back for penalties on their first drive of the game, and now McIlvain in his own end zone. Handoff goes to Kylan James, busts it out wide and gets across the 10 to at least give him a little bit of breathing room. On the punt, Trey Rucker on the tackle.
Nice smart play. Put the ball in the hands of your ball carrier immediately, sort of in the air in an obvious passing situation, especially with 5 DBs on the field, right? They weren't trying to pressure them with any sort of package like they did the play before, bringing 4 and 5 guys. But it was also good for Kylan James to get the edge there, showing a little bit of speed.
The punt got tipped, I believe, as Presley watches it end over end out of bounds. Karin went down. And not pleased. Robertson was in the backfield.
I don't know that Robertson hit him. I don't think he did, actually. Or the ball.
Yeah, you're right.
No. Caught his arm at the end, but it wasn't the foot. It wasn't any part of the kicking surface.
Well, the ball came off funny off the foot of Karin. It was only a 27-yard punt.
Cochran's trying to sell it there, knowing, matter of fact, he was anticipating that being blocked. Is probably why that came off of his foot the way it did shoot.
So here is Alan Bowman, in at quarterback, the Michigan transfer. First snap as a Cowboy. And immediately throws it out wide and drops.
Gets the ball first.
Jaden Bray, the intended wide receiver.
Yeah, he saw Jared Barnes come. No, excuse me. He saw Andrew Hayes coming in that left cornerback spot to inflict some damage. Didn't secure the catch before he turned upfield. Incompletion.
Alan Bowman, the former Big 12 Offensive Freshman of the Year in his days at Texas Tech. Goes right over the middle to Rashad Owens and nearly picks up a first down. That'll bring up 3rd and short.
I'll tell you what, how about Alan Bowman having the confidence to stare down his receiver and still throw it to him? He doesn't even care.
Well, when you put up numbers like he did at Texas Tech in 2 years, over 5,300 yards passing. And another quick throw. First down for Owens. And he's absolutely smashed by Tamarion Wilson.
That's what we call a slobber knocker back in the day.
Grown man hit.
Grown man business. Great catch on the sideline. Obviously turned up to make a play, but even better tackle by T-Bird. That's what they call him.
Preseason FCS All-American Bowman steps up in the pocket, fires it again over the middle. This time it is Jaden Bray.
Oh, he fumbled.
And he has, looks like a first down.
Ruling on the field as the runner was down, short of the line to gain. It's 2nd down.
2nd down and short. 9-yard pickup. Bowman wants to move quickly here. Defensive line out of position.
Oh, yep, missed you. He wasn't looking for it.
Bowman, one of over 40 new faces on this roster, if you include freshmen and walk-ons. And now he'll go under center. Put a flag on the field. No, just a whistle.
I'll tell you what, the protection has been consistent. I wouldn't expect the reach to be any different from the quarterback position, but the time that either one of these guys, whether it had been Garrett Rangel in the first quarter or now Alan Bowman in the second, they've got plenty of time in the pocket to work.
We were told coming in by Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator, we'd see a lot more under center this year from OSU. We have not yet seen it tonight. Might Alan Bowman go under center here? No.
High snap.
Bowman trying to create something out of nothing, and he does. Gets hammered out of bounds, but picks up the first. Big hit by David Walker.
That's a way to turn something
Ruling
into
on the
nothing,
field
right?
is a first down. Oklahoma State, first down.
I mean, these defensive players for UCA are laying the boom on this drive.
And I'm going to tell you what, and good on David Walker to lay that look, because had he held up, then guess what? Alan Bowman completes the first down. He knocked him out of bounds just short.
The snap. Previous play is under further review.
I hope not for anything.
Late hit, possibly.
If he holds up, Bowman gets a first down. If he doesn't come with the thunder like he is right there and gets him out just short of the first down, this is called football, right? What are you supposed to do? Let the guy get a first down? He's running toward the sideline. He didn't give himself up. Normally I would stick up for a quarterback being an offensive player, but come on, man. What's he supposed to do? Just give him the first? No.
David Walker, the ASUN Defensive Player of the Year last season. Finalist for the FCS Defensive Player of the Year.
No.
They're checking the spot of the ball.
And his foot's out of bounds just short. As you can see that right there.
So to your point, good on David Walker for finishing the play.
Had he not finished the play, guess what? Bowman could have stuck his arm out, crossed the line of scrimmage, crossed the line to gain, right? And it would have been a first down. But him popping him right just short of the first down like that, making him put his foot on the out-of-bounds line right there, as you can see it, he's out right there because of the effort that David Walker put in to get him out of bounds. And he came from a great distance to do it, too.
You just said the buzzword, effort.
Effort.
When we talked to the UCA coaches, what does success look like in a game like this? They said effort on every single play, and then just let the chips fall where they may.
Knowing what you're doing, too. That's what they talk about. Knowing what you're doing, being in the right place, right? Reading your keys.
After review, the runner is short of the line to gain. It'll be fourth down at the 14.5-yard line.
So do you go for it if you're OSU? Or do you take the points?
It's a nip and tuck game. How would you feel going at halftime 10-0 versus 14-0?
The allure is just oozing out of Brad Hopkins' face right now. He wants him to go for it.
Come on, man. If you're going to go for it anywhere in the field, you got to go for it inside your own red zone, right?
Well, they've already gone for it once on fourth down today, and they were successful. And they are going to go for it. Alan Bowman back onto the field with Ollie Gordon in the backfield. As is Braden Cassidy, the fullback. Two wide receivers set. Fourth and 1. Low snap. Bowman throws it out. Got the first down to Brennan Presley. And he's nudged out of bounds just in front of the 10-yard line.
The play was probably designed to get the first down, right? It's out route to the flat. You can see that. But you've also got to give UCA tremendous credit for the coverage and not allowing this to be a score, because they're not that far out, right? That could have been 6 very easily had someone missed a tackle or them not listening to their assignments and being in the right place.
This is a well-coached UCA team, and a team that has ranked the receiving votes in every FCS preseason poll.
Seen this play earlier.
Hand off to Presley, scampering out, now spinning out of a tackle, and he gets it down to the 6. A pickup of 5.
This was the touchdown play earlier. UCA said, "Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice." How did George Bush put that? Fool can't get fooled again.
Oh, brother. 2nd and 5. Bowman again, a handoff. And this time flushed out. It's Jaden Nixon trying to fight for yards, but he's ripped out of bounds by T.D. Williams.
Unfortunately, Jason Brooks, he pulled and missed his block at the end line of scrimmage there. which allowed them to kind of collapse and suffocate the ball carrier. I applaud them for getting the big bodies moving, though, Shu.
Yeah, 3rd down and 8. Ball on the 9-yard line. 10th play of the drive. Bowman to pass.
All that time. That's building a birdhouse back there.
And he just has to float it out of bounds. How about the secondary of this Central Arkansas defense?
Well, there's a big Oklahoma State sign in the back end that makes the 12th defender, so there's really not much else for them to go, right?
Just so impressed by the way that the Bears have stood to the task against a Power 5 program. And now Alex Hale on to attempt the field goal, 26 yards to make it a 10-0 lead. And the former walk-on puts it up and through. 10-zip Oklahoma State, 5:34 to play in the first half here in Stillwater. Tight ball game here in Stillwater, week 1. Oklahoma State taking on a Central Arkansas team with some All-Americans, some All-Conference players ranked in the preseason top 25 polls at the FCS level. And they have been competitive in this first half against Oklahoma State on the road. Mike Gundy in his 19th season, working with a lot of newness tonight. 31 new scholarship players, 2 different quarterbacks, 3 different running backs, replacing 17 different starters on offense and defense from a year ago. And now Nathan Brown and his Central Arkansas team. Can they find a way to score before the end of this first half?
Shu, how do you replace all those players? By playing a lot of players. Like you mentioned earlier in the open, double-digit players will see the field today because they got a lot of people to take a look at.
Yes, they do. He told us they're going to play more guys tonight than they have ever in his time at OSU. And a tail of the tape, we talked about it earlier, Brad. It's not like Central Arkansas is completely outmanned here. Size-wise, the disparity is not great.
No, between the 2 offensive lines, though, is an inch in height, if you think about that. But they're both bringing the same kind of weight. They're averaging just over 300 pounds. And for a defensive front that's averaging 285 on both sides, that's a lot for either one of these offensive lines to work with.
And typically in games like this, it's the battle of the trenches where we see the difference. Nathan Brown told us they put a lot of effort the last 2 years into sizing up in that department as Shunderick Powell shakes free. And a pickup of 4 or 5 on first down.
The 2 biggest differences in college football, Shu, size and speed. And if you can get that size moving with some speed, boy, that's a killer right there. And that's usually what Power 5 programs are dealing with, right?
Play action to Powell. McIlvain chased. Gets away from Martin. Martin with a second effort. Got a wrap on him and brings him down.
I know there are bodies flying all around you, but at that point, it's kind of hard to see the escape lanes. But that part of the field was wide open. He slipped, obviously, the first tackle. And you know what? That's tremendous effort right there from Nicholas Martin. I mean, comes back after missing him the first time to get him down on the ground because, obviously, McIlvain didn't see the left side of that field to escape. And that effort's what got him on the ground right there. Tremendous job by Nicholas Martin.
Second sack of the game for OSU. Now another 3rd down and long for McIlvain. Pressure coming. Gets it out quickly, and it's a first down for Cam Robinson.
That's a rope.
And an offensive lineman is down after the play. It is the center. No, I take that back. It is Frazier Rose.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, anytime a lineman flips that helmet off, that's not good.
Frazier Rose has been playing right tackle tonight for Central Arkansas.
He's been dealing with some injuries too. Not too bad, but you know, hate to see a guy deal.
We will step aside in Stillwater. Welcome back to Stillwater, and an unfortunate sight for Central Arkansas. Frazier Rose gripping the hand of his head coach Nathan Brown. The card has been brought out. The air cast has been brought out. And he's a young man that this coaching staff was so high on this year. Didn't have all the preseason accolades as his other tackle, Justin Leary, but they felt like he could be an all-conference player this year. Started 11 games on the line last season for Central Arkansas. And now he will be helped off the field.
Stalwart from Pillow Academy.
And you just hate to see it too this early in the season too, Brad.
Yeah, here we go. Let's look at it right here. Good set. Nice shoulder square.
68.
Missed with the hands though a little bit. Right here. Yep. That was Walker. No, that was Cameron Godfrey that actually rolled up his right ankle on, obviously incidentally, and he fell back over too. Oh.
Good to see him up. His teammates all in off the sideline. Just hope he's able to come back at some point in this season, because they feel like he's such an integral part of what they expect to be a huge year, a preseason top 25 team in the FCS, and all of his teammates coming over, giving him hugs and high fives and a round of applause from the sellout crowd here at Boone Pickens.
Good thing he's a sophomore. Got plenty of football left, right?
So now you always wonder when things like this happen, how does your team respond? Do they use it as motivation? Let's go play for this young man who's now been taken out of the game.
I think they rally around next man up, right? Whether it's Macarius Collier or William Mayo, we'll find out here in a minute. Making sure that he's up to speed and ready to fill in, because that's what football's about. Injuries are part of the game, Shu. And that's why there's just not, 11 people on each side of the ball on any given team. You have depth for a reason, and they're going to have to rally around and find out exactly what they have up front. Because what's the first thing I'm going to do if I'm a defensive coordinator? I'm going to try that right side. I'm going to see how much pressure I can bring and see if the new guy can hold up. So that's what it's about. It's about next man up. Unfortunately, Mr. Rose won't finish this evening, but hopefully he'll have a speedy recovery.
So it is William Mayo, who moved this year from guard to tackle, in at right tackle.
Sure, we're in Arkansas.
1st and 10. Here comes the pressure and a handoff to Powell, and he is swallowed up.
Donovan Stevens said, "No, sir, not on my watch."
Again, Powell chased out of the backfield, trying to somehow make back some yards.
I like this kid, even though he didn't get any yards that time. Great job by the defense, really sticking with their cues and being disciplined, right? Not giving up the edge. This kid here has got some speed, man. Shunderick Powell, if he gets that sideline, it's ugly. He's got a nice stiff arm too, but you got to give, obviously, Oklahoma State Cowboys that defense rallying around, using that sideline as their friend and getting them down for a loss.
Trey Rucker on the stop, his 4th tackle and the 5th tackle for a loss today for Oklahoma State. Brings up 3rd and 14. McIlvain flushed, gets it downfield, and a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, that usually means holding. When you see the quarterback, kind of trying to find some time and move around the pocket a little bit. He wasn't trying to escape and get downfield. His eyes were downfield, but usually when that clock is going, and the guy in the white hat,
number 70, offense, Kelly's decline, 4th down.
First guy in, right?
William Mayo.
Exactly. Not saying that was expected, but obviously somebody coming in not fresh. This is his first play of the game, right? Or, maybe he's in on some special teams, but he hasn't been on any significant series. As you can see here, oh, he threw him down. You can't throw him down.
Yeah. Mayo 6'5", 330.
I mean, it wasn't a bad set either. I liked the shoulders. They were square. But gave up the inside and decided to go ahead and sling him to the ground. I can't do that.
Good defensive effort from Nathan Latu.
Oh, he's out.
And now another punt for Karin.
This kid's got a boot.
High spiraling kick. Presley lets it bounce, and it goes into the end zone.
You know what they normally say when an ugly dude's with a pretty woman? What do they say? You outkick the coverage, right? Well, this dude here is outkicking the coverage. No one's able to get down there and cover.
61 yards on the punt.
61 yards. I just say, hey, Gunners, sprint, go. This dude's got a boot.
Former kicker turned punter.
What the?
Chandler Carrin, junior from Memphis. All right. So Oklahoma State puts Alan Bowman back into the ball game. The lone touchdown today thrown by Garrett Rangel. Hooked up with Brennan Presley for 11 yards. Last drive with Bowman at quarterback resulted in a field goal, and they started that drive inside enemy territory.
Right.
2:59 on the clock, and all 3 timeouts for OSU. Bowman out of the gun.
Oh, nice screenplay.
Screenplay gets blown up defensively. What a play by Cameron Godfrey, the 6th-year player for the Bears.
Played 3 different positions. He understands the game. He understands angles. He understands how to tackle, how to play football. And that's not my words. Those are the words of his head coach, Nathan Brown. The guy's just heads up, and you can see why.
-6. Oh. Bowman gets taken out, but finds his receiver, and that is the redshirt freshman, Talon Shetron.
Tell you what, boy, he must have heard that clock going off in his head, because he got that ball out just in time before he was going to take a lick for a nice completion.
It was Logan Jessup on the hit. Bowman looking, finds his man, and that is Blaine Green. First catch of the night for Blaine Green. Missed all of last year with a wrist injury.
This is the pace that they went with Shoe when they scored the first time in the first quarter.
Up-tempo Cowboy offense.
Ooh.
Slips it out to Nixon. And a nice open field tackle by James Jordan.
Tell you what, boy, Cole Birmingham was having some trouble on that outside edge up there on that left side. Would have been ugly. Nice completion, though, for a small gain.
3rd and short.
Better than a loss.
You run it here?
Heck yeah, you do. If you got the horses to do it. But then again, they're all at the line of scrimmage right now.
4 for 9 on 3rd downs. Quick pass instead, and caught by Jaden Bray.
I'm going to tell you what, boy, that cover 0 is something scary. You got everybody in man. One dude gets beat. Guess what? It's 6. They kept everybody in front of him and got him on the ground on that one. Great play by UCA's defense, even though it was a completion for a first down.
Central Arkansas has called their 3rd and final charge timeout. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So a timeout by Central Arkansas. Trying to slow down this Oklahoma State offense, who has so much depth at wide receiver. They bring back, of course, Brennan Presley, the Big 12 offensive preseason wide receiver of the year. But then guys we haven't even seen yet. Leon Johnson, the D3 transfer, Jaden Bray, Blaine Green, and Dejon Stribling, who made a handful of catches early, the Washington State transfer.
Yeah, we've seen some Dejon Stribling, and we've seen him make some explosive plays. But Leon Johnson III, we've yet to see consistently. Here's a D3 All-American in 2022 is Offensive Player of the Year in that conference. So you know that he's going to see some run sooner or later.
We've seen 8 different Cowboys catch passes tonight. Bowman 9 for 12 since entering the ball game, 5 of 5 on this drive. He's had the ball since the start of the 2nd quarter. Play action to Gordon. And he dumps it off to Gordon in the flat, and it went off his hands.
Catch the ball. Catch the ball. You can't make a move until you what? Complete the catch. He heard some footsteps. I get it. You about to get smacked, but either way, you saw him looking upfield, right? Making sure that he had some space. Maybe where to make a move, maybe make a wiggle, but still.
Jake Golday was coming.
Yeah.
Jake Golday was coming.
Yeah, exactly. He said, hey, is that number 10 coming? Incompletion. I made a business decision right here.
Bowman. Miscommunication with Presley. And it brings up 3rd and 10. Bowman, a team favorite, came in from Michigan, and early on in one of their first team meetings stood up, got everybody together and said, hey guys, I might be a 5th-year senior, played at the Power 5 level, but I don't pretend to know everything. I'm here to learn and adapt to you. And by all accounts, that's when he won the locker room over.
And I think that's because he had success early as a freshman, right? Won a team over in Texas Tech, has been in some big games, had some injury situations to deal with, but finds himself in another starting role.
A flag way upfield and way out of the zone of the play.
That's a pass interference.
It was Kamari Clark, I believe.
Illegal substitution.
Oh, wow.
12 players on the field, defense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
That's a killer, because they had Bowman running for his life back there, and it would have brought him 4th down and long. Instead, 3rd down.
Yeah, you can see they're substituting right now. Guys aren't getting on. Obviously, communication was an issue. We saw Demetrius Charles trying to come on the field late. Really wasn't even sure where to get lined up.
And now another flag. OSU offensive line pointing at Central Arkansas.
Yeah, that'd be because
offside,
Bradley.
number 98, defense, 5-yard penalty results, 1st down.
Big Bradley Clark put the mitts on somebody.
So the 6th penalty of the night for Central Arkansas moves it from 3rd and 5 to 1st down. But remember, it was 3rd and 10 2 plays ago. So that keeps the drive alive with 1:29 left. And now Alan Bowman and this Cowboys offense marching inside the 50. Bowman got a man, and it's plain green in and out of his hands, negating what would have been a massive pickup on 1st down.
I can get it. If you can catch it with your hands, catch it with your hands. But there's really nothing wrong. In both of those plays, we're bringing it into the body and securing it, right? It wasn't anything but him taking his eyes simply off the ball, lack of concentration. These are obviously plays that they would make 9 times out of 10, but it's unfortunate that it affects the drive, bringing up 2nd and 10.
Elijah Collins into the backfield, the Michigan State transfer. Another pass from Bowman off his back foot and flips it out of bounds.
Saw the pressure coming late. There's really nowhere to go with the ball. The coverage was tremendous. UCLA's done a good job of keeping those receivers in front of them.
4 straight passes. Interesting, we haven't seen them really go to the ground at all.
Yeah, I think that they're really just trying to keep the rhythm and the flow going on this offense, keep them on their heels a little bit, see if they can't get an explosive play downfield somewhere. But right now, like we even heard them mention earlier, keeping the receivers from OSU in front of them has been the tail of the tape today. No big plays.
3rd and 10. Bowman out of the reach of Brennan Presley, and it brings up 4th down. A 10-play drive ends for Alan Bowman.
Tell you what, man, those front, say 3, 4, how many of you want in this 3-3-5 offense, this odd front, they're really getting after it. They're running stunts. They're bringing in an extra guy. Give credit to Logan Jessup, Stephon McGlon, and of course Bradley Clark.
Darius Hale back to receive the punt. End over end kick. Lands inside the 10 and bounces the wrong way for OSU. Finally down right at about the 15. Coming up at halftime, college football is back. Indeed it is. OSU Player Voices series with the offensive lineman Jason Queso Brooks. And then a look at next week's slate of Big 12 games on ESPN+. It's all coming up at the half here in Stillwater, where we have seen a tightly contested game. Could very easily be a 10-7 ball game. Central Arkansas on their first offensive possession had 2 touchdowns called back. And they've really not had much going offensively since then, but their defense has kept them in this ball game. No timeouts with 1:04 to play. Underneath to Miles Butler, and he twists ahead towards the sticks and misses just short. McKinney on the tackle.
Almost like a bubble screen, quick screen out to the flat. Gets the ball in the hands of the playmaker, gets him moving vertically. A couple of missed tackles, and the guy's got good field position.
McIlvain picks up the 1st down, slipped out to Christian Richmond, and he's out across the 35. 11-yard pickup. And it briefly stops the clock as they move the chains. 35 seconds left in the first half. Pressure coming. McIlvain dials it up over the middle to Gerard Barnes, and he lost the football. Scooped up by OSU. It is Kendall Daniels scampering after he scooped up the fumble. And now a chance for OSU to pick up points before halftime.
What a tremendous play here. can obviously see Kendall Daniels, Corey Black, we just mentioned him, wanting to be one of the more veteran players on this defense, getting a turnover.
A 25-yard fumble recovery and return for Kendall Daniels, the Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year from a season ago.
You might want to pitch that to a better ball carrier.
Bowman goes deep, looking for Stribling, almost intercepted.
Exactly.
Tamarion Wilson.
Yeah, almost in the right place at the right time to come up with another turnover. It totally makes sense, but how about them going deep in this first shot?
I like it.
Why not, right? Take advantage. You got them reeling right now. Anytime you have that change of direction, take advantage.
All 3 timeouts left. 6 straight incompletions, though, for Alan Bowman in this offense. And they're not all on Alan Bowman. There's been a couple of easy catches that have been dropped. Ollie Gordon in the backfield. Bowman looking left, flush to his right. Has to dump it down. Was the catch made by Brennan Presley?
Talking it over.
He was tiptoeing the sideline. And it is incomplete.
Is an incomplete pass. The 3rd down.
Jason McCoy on the pressure.
Let's see. Just needs. His foot was out of bounds when he caught it. Yeah, his foot was already on the line. Wasn't that hard to see? Especially if you're on the side there.
Only 9 seconds left here in the first half. Probably time for one more play and then call a timeout and bring your field goal unit out.
Looked like Bowman wanted to get that play started too.
Yeah.
Ref had to set the ball down. He's like, let's go.
10-zip OSU. Bowman with 9 seconds. Out of the gun.
He tricked him in that bail coverage.
Goes deep and almost intercepted. It was Dude Person who almost came up with it in coverage.
Tremendous job. Greg Stewart dialing up the different coverage. They went from single coverage to obviously 2 deep. Almost came up with. I tell you what, had Dude Person's been looking up, he would have had a pick right there. He was looking at obviously the receiver in the middle of the field, but had he seen where the ball actually was coming, it was an easy pick.
45-yarder here for Alex Hale. And it is up and through. So a 13-0 lead at the half for Oklahoma State. A pair of field goals for Alex Hale. But credit to Central Arkansas's defense. They have kept them in the ball game on the road in a hostile, sold-out Boone-Pickens Stadium. Oklahoma State's defense came alive in the second quarter, and they put up a 0 through the first half of football of week 1 in Stillwater. Week 1 in Stillwater, Central Arkansas hanging tight with Oklahoma State down 13-zip at the halftime break. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, Brad Hopkins with you. We weren't sure what to expect coming into this game. We thought it could be competitive. Central Arkansas ranked in the top 25 preseason FCS poll. They've held their own. Their defense has kept them in this game.
Absolutely. If you'd have told me that there had been only 1 touchdown score within 2 quarters of play for Oklahoma State, I'd have called you a fool. But here we are, right? Close to competitive game.
We've seen 2 quarterbacks play in the first half for Oklahoma State. Garrett Rangel got the start. That was a topic of question, and he looked pretty good in the first half.
Absolutely. Looked poised in the pocket, found a number of receivers. Obviously, the offensive line gave him plenty of time to find his progression. And that was consistent even when Alan Bowman got in the game, but we did see, obviously, Garrett Rangel doing a number of different things with the ball.
And Garrett Rangel credited with the only touchdown so far tonight for Oklahoma State. He found Brennan Presley on this 11-yard swing pass for a touchdown. That was late in the first quarter. Then Alan Bowman had 3 drives. 2 of them resulted in field goals.
Absolutely. For the most part, I think that Greg Stewart's boys at UCA have done a great job of keeping those receivers in front of them and making this a close ball game. There have been some great plays, obviously some good receptions. When you look at time of possession, Oklahoma State's had the ball almost twice as much 5 more minutes to be exact. And also they've completed 12 first downs compared to UCA's 5 or 6 first downs. So that's been a tell of the tape, them being able to convert first downs and continue drives. But as you can see here, comparing the 2 quarterbacks, Rangel and Bowman. Shoot, Bowman was 9 of 11 at some point between a stretch of incompletions that ultimately ended up stalling out drives. So saw some pretty consistent play from the quarterbacks either way.
The interesting thing though, Brad, all week coming into this game, we heard from Casey Dunn, the offensive coordinator for Oklahoma State, you won't see us run as many plays. We're putting more of a premium on matchups, on chunk plays. What we saw was 49 plays in the first half for Oklahoma State, and they averaged just 4.4 yards per play. They ran 19 more plays offensively than Central Arkansas.
It sounds like Casey Dunn and Coach Gundy are trying to see what they have.
Yep.
Right? They came in with the plan of running the football more effectively since they weren't able to do that at the latter part of last year. But they're seeing what they have right now in the groceries. Get a number of guys on the field and seeing what they can actually play.
Shunderick Powell with a tough physical run, bouncing through a couple of tacklers, and picks up 15 on first down.
Yeah, there's a reason why this cat right here led the A-Sun in rushing with 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's hard to bring down. You can see this, keep those. He can even lose his shoe and keep getting yards. He didn't even care.
He had 18 touchdowns last year for a 1-10 North Alabama team. Wanted to play for a contender, and he is now. Quick throw out to Christian Richmond. Stop, start, stutter step. Richmond still on his feet and picks up a first down. How about the Bears coming out of the halftime locker room firing?
As you can see right here, Richmond being able to put the brakes on and put 2 defenders on skates is amazing. That right there is one of those da-na-na, da-na-na. You're going to see that on SportsCenter this week.
13-yard pickup. So we had a 15-yard run and then a 13-yard catch and run. And now inside the 50 for UCA.
Bringing a little bit of a blitz there, providing some. Yeah, that's exactly what you got to do.
Goes down, and it is Colin Clay with the sack, the 3rd of the game for Oklahoma State's defense.
Yeah, Nardo said, hey, look, I'm giving him too much time in the pocket. I'm going to have to bring an extra body right here. I'm not getting there with 4. Bringing that pressure, giving Will McElwain something else to think about. That's what I'm trying to do right now, and they get home with the sack.
5-yard loss brings up 2nd and 15. Central Arkansas had 2 touchdowns called back on penalties on their first drive of the game. Then they were driving late in the first half, and after a big pickup, fumbled the football. Now Darius Hale on the screen, stays alive, scampering, cutting his way through the defense, and makes it 3rd and manageable after a pickup of 10.
Yeah, as you can see, that blitz is coming from the right side, but this was an obvious screen going to the left. And, there's nobody that finds his way through traffic better than Darius Hale, and he does it right there on that completion. That snap's got to get down.
Hale again, this time a first down, and he's dragging the defender. It was Kendall Daniels who stripped the ball, but he was down first. A 16-yard pickup for Darius Hale, who was 49 yards short of 1,000 last year. 10 touchdowns. Called a power runner by these coaches, and the snap gets away from McElwain. Scoops it up on the run and somehow gets it out of bounds. That's a heads-up play by the 2nd-year starter.
We just talked about the high snap on the previous play. Obviously came to bite him then, but give Will McElwain tons of credit for being a heads-up play, not only scooping the ball on the move, right, but then having the presence of mind to throw it out of bounds, and therefore, guess what? No loss of yardage on the down.
2nd down and 10. 4 plays of 10 yards or more on this drive for McElwain. And a new center into the ball game. It's Josh George. Play action, tipped. And a great play, tipping the ball by Xavier Benson.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, one of the stalwarts on that defense gets his hands on the ball right there, because that was going to be a completion. He's playing his zone right there in the middle of that field, that quarter. That's pretty nice. Smart, disciplined play. We heard Brian Nardo talk about that during the week, Shu. about guys believing in the concept, believing in the coverage, and being where you're supposed to be. And that right there is a great example of that.
3rd and 10. McIlvain with pressure, and he goes down again in the backfield. 4th sack of the game, that time Xavier Ross.
Yeah, anytime you're having a skilled positions block, and we'll see here on the replay in just a second, pressure's coming from the outside. Obviously wasn't a good clean block by Justin Larry right there on that outside. Loses inside late, gets the quarterback flush to his right, and he wasn't trying to escape the pocket with any yards, downfield. He was just trying to not get taken down.
And now Jake Gaster on to attempt a 46-yarder. Last field goal attempt was blocked in the first half. High snap, Gaster, low kick, and again special teams coming up for Oklahoma State. And again, it's Corey Black who blocked the field goal in the first half for Oklahoma State.
These long snappers and centers are having some problems tonight.
Pressure off the edge again from Corey Black. He's having a heck of a night on defense and special teams. Cowboys pitching a shutout in Stillwater. That look on Nathan Brown's face says it all. He's had 2 touchdowns called back, a blocked field goal and a botched field goal. Brad, his defense is holding up their end of the bargain. They just can't score points offensively.
But that's the difference in college football. The levels of play that you make, you're supposed to make the little mistakes. The least amount of mistakes, right? Power 5, you don't make mistakes if you play for Alabama or Oklahoma State. But at this level, the mistakes that you make are the ones that actually can cost you ball games.
It is Alan Bowman to start the second half at quarterback for Oklahoma State, and he gives it off to Jaden Nixon, who twists his way for a first down and a pickup of about 7 on the run.
I step.
So we saw Rangel start the ball game, led Oklahoma State to a touchdown in the first quarter, then Bowman in the second quarter, 2 drives resulting in field goals. Puts it down to Nixon.
I'd say that spell of incompletions for Bowman maybe make me give Garrett the inside. There was a score that was had when he was leading the drive, right?
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
Nixon took a pop. It looked like, although he is standing up fine, so it might be a Central Arkansas player who's down.
I think he's still down on the floor, on the ground. He's at the 50. He's on the OSU sideline at the 50.
Jaden Nixon. A couple of big pickups here to start the second half for Oklahoma State. Nixon with 4 rushes for 15 yards, but he is their leading receiver out of the backfield. 4 receptions for 29 yards, including an 18-yard reception. And that is Cameron Godfrey, the 6th-year safety, down after the tackle.
Jaden Nixon was honorable mention Big 12. Also offensive freshman of the year. Yeah, let's see what happened to Cameron. Ooh, that might be concussion. Took a shot right on the helmet and the shoulder pad. He might be concussed a little bit.
He is walking off with Tamarion Wilson.
Yeah, he looks a little woozy.
A couple of injuries tonight for Central Arkansas. They lost their starting right tackle in the first half, Frazier Rose, and now possibly losing their 6th year at the rover position in the middle of that 3-3-5 and Cameron Godfrey. So now does Bowman try to take advantage and go over the middle here? 11 of 22 tonight with 72 yards passing.
Ooh, tight end's offsides. They snap it right now. Got away with one.
Bowman steps up and he's swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes, sir.
By the Central Arkansas defense, a loss of 2, and that was Jace McCoy with the tackle.
I think David Walker was in on that pressure too, flushing the quarterback up the middle of that pocket. As you can see right here, tackle gets a little late. Obviously the chip was late too. Ollie Gordon's supposed to give a little help right there on that outside. Wasn't able to give him much. Flushed the quarterback and resulted in a sack.
First sack of the game for the Central Arkansas defense. Sets up a 2nd and 12. Bowman with a deep drop and dumps it underneath. Short pickup for Josiah Johnson, the UMass transfer.
I like the way the big tight end watched that ball come in for the completion. All right. Keeping the drive going. Even though it's 3rd and longer than they want, still positive yards on the 2nd down.
First catch of the night for Josiah Johnson. Former quarterback turned tight end. One of 2 new tight ends on the roster this year for Mike Gundy.
50 catches, 465 yards, and 5 touchdowns. 18 carries, too. Super senior, they call him.
Did a little bit of everything at UMass.
Absolutely.
On 3rd down for Bowman. Again, getting pressure from the edges. And it brings up 4th and short. Connecting with Johnson once more.
And he went
Clark on the tackle.
He went from one side of the field to the other in his progression. So has the time to do it. And obviously the arm strength too off the back foot to get it that far for a completion. Give credit to his tight end for being in a position to at least be somewhere where he can go with the football.
Hudson Cack back to punt. And the All-American returner Gerard Barnes waiting for something here.
Nice.
Deep kick. Oh, and a beautiful kick down inside the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you something.
That'll pin Central Arkansas deep in its own territory when we return. Back from Boone Pickens Stadium. Sun beginning to set here in Stillwater on week 1. A 13-zip lead for the home team after a great punt by Hudson Cack. He has pinned Central Arkansas deep in its own territory. They will get the ball with 95 yards to go. Held scoreless to this point. And credit to Oklahoma State's defense. 3 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss. They have kept the Central Arkansas offense at bay, but here is Kylan James picking up chunk on 1st down. 12 yards on the carry for one of the most versatile backs in the country. He threw 2 touchdowns last year, caught 3, and ran for 3.
But you got to give Oklahoma State's defense a lot of credit. Got 7 tackles for a loss tonight and 4 sacks that obviously are pressuring the quarterback.
McElvain, he goes to James again. And Kendall Daniels gets ridden back to about the 50-yard line. So back-to-back throws to Kylan James. He picks up 29.
It's almost as if they've lost sight of it in 2 different occasions. He's come in motion, right, to the flat for the 2nd straight play almost. And it's hard getting him down once you get that thing moving downhill. Ask any DB.
Motion again, play action. There is James. And another 1st down.
This is the same play. It ain't broke, right?
12 yards for Kylan James. And now he takes a knee with an Oklahoma State player down. That is the transfer from Tulsa, Anthony Goodlow.
If Kylan James gets the ball to the flat one more time, I'm going to tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm coming down out of this booth and we're going to grab the headset over there. I think they're going to run over here. 7 of 11 plays this half for 10 or more yards for UCA. That's, hey.
And yet they have not been able to score.
Like we talked about, the mistakes. Those are the things that can kill you, especially at this level. You cannot make mistakes against a Big 12 team like this. See the motion, right? He's kind of almost playing it like 2 days ago. Oh, there we go. Next time he's open in the field. Not a defender within 5 yards of him. And that's on all 3 plays.
And that's a tough action to defend against because you've got Shaderick Powell, All-American. You've got Kylan James, All-Conference. And if you throw Darius Hale in there, he was an All-American 2 years ago. So you've got 3 All-Conference / All-American backs to work with if you're Will McElvain and the Bears offense.
Yeah. Nathan talked about using all 3 of them too.
And it is Shunderick Powell in the backfield. First down and 10 inside the 50. They go to Powell. Picking his way, bounces it outside. There goes Powell, taken down inside the 15. Kendall Daniels stopping a potential touchdown run, and it results in 27 for Shunderick Powell.
They're doing a tremendous job of staying on their blocks, getting speed to the edge.
McElvain on the rollout, and he finds Gerard Barnes at the 1.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass, first down.
How about this offense? Moving quickly here.
Great momentum, great tempo. It's not allowing the OUSU defense to substitute.
They go to Powell. Hit in the backfield. Continues to churn. And he is stopped short of the goal line.
Yeah, that's what that fast break tempo does for you. You can't get guys off that sideline. When guys start breathing through their mouths, you know you got them on the ropes, right? As we can see, this is almost a 12, 13 play drive right now. That does not bode well for the defense. Also gives UCA a lot of confidence too.
We have seen them move the ball a couple of times with sustained drives. This is another one trying to capitalize for the first time tonight. They go to Darius Hale, sidesteps a tackler. Ball is out in the end zone, but they say the runner was down by contact.
Ruling on the field is the runner was down prior to the ball coming out. It'll be third down.
That's one of the times where you don't want Xavier Benson to make a play like that, because if he hadn't tackled him and got him down, that fumble in the end zone would have resulted in a touchback.
Third down.
I think
Previous play of the runner down is under further review.
And remember, it was UCA who jumped on it in the end zone.
Yeah.
So if the play gets reversed, it's a touchdown for the Bears.
Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. I'm talking about a touchback. Let's see here. Down right.
I think the ball is out.
The ball was out. I think you're right.
And Gerard Barnes, a heads-up play by the All-American wide receiver, jumping on it in the end zone.
That'd be a touchdown if it's not down.
I think it's a fumble.
Let's see if they got a score here in an unconventional way.
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be par for the course for this game.
It would,
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would be par for the course.
They have had the darndest time scoring the football tonight. But it only makes sense for a fumble to roll into the end zone and then Barnes to jump on it. Here's another look at it. See, to me, it looks like the ball is fumbling out of his hand before the knee gets down or the elbow.
I think you're right. I think it's a tremendous play, obviously, by Cameron Godfrey to get his hands on the ball.
Gerard Barnes. Yep.
Sorry. Yeah.
Benson wrapped him up in the backfield.
Yeah.
But the forward momentum of the ball just carried about 4 or 5 yards into the end zone, and Barnes, you can see at the top of your screen just a quick reaction.
What a heads-up play, though. He sees that, you know, his ball carrier fumbles the ball and just reacts and makes a play in the end zone, potentially.
A long review here by Michael Vandervelde, our referee tonight, Big 12 officiating crew here in Stillwater.
After review, ruling on the field stance is called.
Oh, wow.
Third down.
Okay.
OSU maybe catches a break there, so it's 3rd down and 1. On the one. UCA started the drive at their own 5-yard line. Will McElvain and company have driven it all the way to the OSU 1. 3rd down. James and Hale in the backfield. McElvain rolls and fires it into the end zone to Kylan James. Touchdown, Central Arkansas.
That was the Kylan James drive right there. I think he had 4 receptions before actually getting into the end zone. Almost all him.
Chunk yards, too. He had a 29-yard pickup, a 12-yard pickup, and then caps it off with a touchdown here. And how about McElvain? Brad with the crowd getting fired up. Goes and checks with his offensive line. Shows the composure, rolling, finding Kylan James. And now we've got a ball game here.
Give Darius Hale some credit too, because he blocked on that one, getting the defender's hands down, so that way there was a clear path to pass the ball.
8 plays, 95 yards on a 3-minute and 39-second drive for the Bears. Well, folks, it's week 1, and it is not disappointed in Stillwater. It's a 6-point game with 4:37 to play in the 3rd. A couple of days ago, Mike Gundy got a text from one of his sons. Dad, you ready for Saturday? He told us, he texted his son back, I don't know. And his son said, well, that's not very reassuring. And Mike Gundy told us, listen, I have so many new faces. I don't know what to expect tonight. And there's been good, there's been bad, there's been ugly. But they're playing in a tight, competitive game here with 4:37 left and a 6-point lead.
Going into Gundy's 20th year, he's been the pillar of consistency, right? And the fact that he doesn't know all the names on his roster, that kind of shows you what he's dealing with in 2023.
31 new scholarship players, almost 50 new faces total if you include walk-ons. So Central Arkansas marches down the field, an 8-play, 95-yard drive. And now Oklahoma State and their offense with Gunnar Gundy coming into the ball game. The 3rd quarterback used, and that has been a big topic of conversation with all the newness. Who would be the quarterback? We've seen Rangel, we've seen Bowman, and now we're seeing the coach's son, Gunnar Gundy. And the first play is a handoff right up the middle to Elijah Collins and a pickup of 2.
But let's be clear, though. They're using 3 quarterbacks because he's trying to discover what he has.
For sure.
It's not like one guy's been performing terribly and in comes another guy. He wants to see what this offense looks like with all 3 guys running.
The opposite. He told us 3 days ago, nobody has outplayed anybody else.
Right.
They've all been good through fall camp.
And you know what? They got to get on the field to show it, right? Here we are.
Gunnar Gundy last year playing in 5 games, including a start against Iowa State.
Lefty.
Swings it out to Blaine Green. And maybe no gain. Might have been a loss. And it brings up 3rd down and 8.
Blaine Green's another player. 2021 honorable mention All Big 12. Offensive freshman of the year. Missed 2022, of course, obviously with injuries and the red shirt, but very productive player.
Elijah Green in the backfield. Out of the shotgun with a 4 wide receiver set on 3rd down and 8. Pressure coming. Gundy quickly gets it out. Blaine Green with a catch, but short of the sticks.
Saw Jacoby and Eichelberger there kind of creeping up a little bit. Quarterback saw his presence too, making sure that he knew where to go with that football immediately to not get tattooed with it.
Good tackle by Dylan Williams. And Central Arkansas will get the football back with a chance to take the lead late in the 3rd.
And maybe some good field position, shoot.
Wes Paul, the punter. Barnes, the return man. Scoops it up.
Oh, my goodness.
And he somehow maintained possession. That was dangerous.
Oh, my goodness. That was dangerous. Now, listen, I saw the improv. The ball was still rolling, and there was a clean path for him to scoop it, but you can't drop it when you scoop it.
And he had 2 orange jerseys bearing down quickly.
Those are some stones.
Nathan Brown's telling him, hey, listen, I like your aggressiveness.
Right. Oh, no. Tremendous play, obviously, by 33 there to get his hand on the ball. He knocked it out. That would have been, I think that Gerard Barnes just going down the sideline had he not scooped and scored.
That was Parker Robertson. How good has he been on special teams today for Oklahoma State?
What a heads-up play right there. If he doesn't get his hand on the ball, the returner actually does scoop that, and they've got a lot more yards that they're dealing with.
So Will McElvain, fresh off a 95-yard touchdown drive, dumps it off.
Oh, wide open.
Wide open in the middle.
It's coming
Kylan
back.
James Gets upended inside the 40. But there was a hold well before the run.
Yes, there was. That's why Josh George is pleading his case right now. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Would have been a 31-yard pickup on first down.
Holding, number 64.
64.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down.
Jacob Cox, not Josh George. Josh George had his hands open like, what? So he thought it was him that got the holding call.
Kylan James with 73 all-purpose yards tonight.
What? Oh, yeah, he hooked. Oh, my gosh.
Nicholas Martin got ripped down on that play.
I thought it was initially on the throw-off for the defensive lineman. Nah, can't grab a guy by the neck.
1st and 18.
Now, I will say, had he not done that, they probably would have tackled him. Wouldn't have been near as a big game.
McElvain swings it. Shunderick Powell up the sideline. Gets 8.
I'm impressed with Will McElvain's efficiency. How fast he gets the ball out of his hands. He's determined to get to a receiver. The receiver gets himself open, and guess what? They're completing downs and moving the football.
17 for 25, 209 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions for the second-year starter.
8 plays and almost 100 yards the drive before. This defense is exhausted, Chew. Think about that. They just got off the field, right?
Well, we've seen a couple of sustained drives tonight from Central Arkansas that just haven't resulted in points. A couple of block kicks, 2 touchdowns that got called back in the first half. They could be winning this game right now, which is crazy to think.
We can play that ifs and buts game. We can play the ifs and buts game, but if there were 2 more touchdowns on the scoreboard for UCA, wow.
Flag comes in before the play.
Illegal snap, number 64. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's the senior center, Jacob Cox. It was whistled for the hold on the first play to Kylan James, negating a 31-yard pickup. And that brings up a 3rd down and 14 on their own 29. Central Arkansas in the second half. Already more than they had in the entire first half. We're not even through the 3rd quarter. Offense has really picked up for the Bears. McElvain, deep throw over the middle, and it's a first down to Gerard Barnes.
Nice post route right there. Good timing. The ball was delivered with efficiency. The rush couldn't even get there. Out of his hands for completion. They're moving the chains, just like the last drive.
19-yard pickup. And now a handoff. Powell switching fields. Powell almost taken down in the backfield and then finally swarmed on the play. -3.
I guarantee you Brian Nardo is going to be talking about leaving your feet as defenders, because I know that, listen, I know Shunderick Powell is one heck of a ball carrier, but he's just slinging dudes off left and right.
And you're right, this defensive line for Oklahoma State, gassed. They just brought in 3 fresh bodies, including Colin Clay up the middle. And that ends the quarter. McElvain not able to get the play off on 2nd and 13. We will take a break. 1 quarter left. 6-point game. Week 1 in Stillwater. Not disappointing tonight. Central Arkansas from the United Athletic Conference out of the FCS, down 6 in the 4th quarter here at Oklahoma State and driving. 2nd and 13 with the ball on their own 43.
Look like the Cowboys got friends in low places.
Yeah. It is a sellout crowd at Boone Pickens tonight. And they have been treated to a competitive game, probably a lot more competitive than they were anticipating. Their offense has been outplayed in this second half. 181 yards for the Bears and just 37 for Oklahoma State. And a quick throw by McElvain is incomplete, and it brings up 3rd down.
Have you noticed how Will McElvain doesn't have to go to his 2nd and 3rd read? He usually sees his first receiver open and available and gives him a catchable ball.
Big 3rd down here. Central Arkansas, we've talked about it all night. They have had plenty of chances to score. A couple of blocked field goals, 2 touchdowns called back in the first half.
Trips left.
3rd and 13. McIlvain talking to his offensive line.
Okay.
Butler in motion. McIlvain throws, contact on the throw, and no call. Intended receiver Gerard Barnes.
That was so smart. Put the receiver in motion to see if they're playing man or zone, right? Then you see the zone coverage and you go to the backside, try and make a mismatch, and unfortunately just skipped out of the receiver's hands. But as you can see him right here, oh, this is the play before. Might be a little bit of flag there.
Corey Black on the coverage. Looked like he grabbed him with his left hand.
Got away with one error a little bit.
So Brennan Presley back to receive the punt. Chandler Caron, who has had a couple of boots tonight, including a 61-yard punt.
Run.
This one's deep as well. And it is down inside the Oklahoma State 10.
There you go.
And Chandler Caron's been an MVP tonight. 50-yard punt on that attempt.
And they did exactly what they were supposed to do right there. The coverage was better. Of course, it wasn't near the end zone, but still.
All right, Brad, we've seen Garrett Rangel, who was quarterbacking in the only drive that resulted in a touchdown tonight. We've also seen Alan Bowman. And we saw Gunnar Gundy on the last drive, and he is back in. Your team is up 6 with 14:41 to play. Gundy to pass. And overthrown. At what point do you go back to Rangel, or do you, as you're still trying to figure out who your starter is going forward?
I think that it's an excuse for a close game when you say I'm playing as many people as I can to figure out exactly what I have. If you go back to the starter, that means I'm trying to win the game. That means the game has now become more competitive than I'm willing to admit. I wouldn't do it.
So they're running with Gundy.
So what, they win close game in a non-conference. Talk about all you want. A W's a W.
Ollie Gordon pops off a big drive, but there's a flag behind the play.
Unfortunately.
As Gordon takes it out across the 50. But that might be coming all the way back after a 42-yard scamper.
And you know who, listen, Ollie Gordon loves his offensive line, the guys up front blocking for him, right? But you know it's got to make him a little frustrated to put in that kind of effort and have it come back for a hold. Now, sometimes the holding, you hate to hear it, it's
holding,
necessary.
Number 71, offense, half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, that's
Second
Josh
down.
George.
Dalton Cooper on the hold for Oklahoma State.
Yep, you're right about that. And Dalton came in obviously filling in for a lot of different players that have been hurt, but you know what? Holding sometimes you get caught.
That was the biggest play from scrimmage that we've seen tonight from Oklahoma State, and it gets called all the way back. So Gundy in his own end zone. Right back to him. Gordon pops off another big run and keeps going.
He's not down.
No whistle, and he turns ahead for a first down. What a run by Ollie Gordon, 16. And he moves the chains.
Can't wait for the replay. I think he spun off the defender's body. Nice stab there. Keeps his hand, keeps spinning, fighting for that extra yard. See big Josiah Johnson down there blocking for him, the tight end. Everybody getting involved.
3 straight rushing attempts by Ollie Gordon. That one stopped just over the line of scrimmage. Pickup of 1.
Who was that really big back for the Giants a long time ago? I can't remember what his name was. This guy reminds me of him. Kind of a lumbering guy. Not real fast foot movement, but he's hard to bring down because he's a load.
6'1", 211.
Brandon Jacobs. That's exactly who it is. Thank you, Steve Melton. Brandon Jacobs.
Jaden Nixon into the ball game in the backfield to the right of the lefty quarterback, Gunnar Gundy. Gundy slings it out wide. What a grab by Brennan Presley, and a pickup of 5.
Give credit to Cole Birmingham pushing that pocket wide. It was close. Almost got his hands knocked down, but the lefty gunner, man, what a rope.
Wow. An incredible footwork by Brennan Presley.
Right. Brennan Presley coming up with a big catch. He's the only one that's got a touchdown in the evening. Well, actually, saw 2 touchdowns now. Both have scored touchdowns. But the only touchdown for OSU was by Brennan Presley.
They're going to review this here to see if he did, in fact, have control of the football.
Nice catch, though, even if it's not a catch.
Timeout, Central Arkansas. Their first of the second half.
Maybe instead of a review, it's a timeout for Central Arkansas. We'll step aside. 6-point lead for Oklahoma State. 3rd down and 4. The last play, ruled a catch, not under review, just a timeout by Central Arkansas. They're down to their final 2. And a big 3rd down defensively for the Bears. Gunnar Gundy, the quarterback. 3rd one used tonight by his father, Mike Gundy. Gundy to pass. Finds Jaden Nixon underneath, and it's enough for a 1st down.
Way to use the wide side of the field right there, getting the completion and letting the runner run for a 1st down. Obviously, we've seen Jaden Nixon doing a lot of good things with the ball tonight. That completion down the sideline was just another one.
First 3rd down conversion of the second half for Oklahoma State. Keeps the drive alive. 12 minutes remaining in the ball game. Gundy finds a man. It's Presley, and he's in enemy territory across the 50. 21 yards. Check that. It's Dejon Stribling. But we have not seen catch a pass since the 1st quarter.
Gunner's getting into good rhythm here, getting the ball out of his hands, seeing his first receiver that he wants to go to and just letting it go.
Stribling, leading wide receiver last year at Washington State. Ball batted down by the All-American David Walker.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete forward pass. It'll be 2nd down.
Heck of a play, though. Heads up play by Logan Jessup. I'm not going to say it was an interception.
But you know what? We were talking with the coaches for Central Arkansas, and we said, tell us about David Walker. Nathan Brown said there's not enough adjectives to describe David Walker. He's been that good for this program.
Remember, Shu, I asked Greg Stewart, does he have any war daddies? He said, you mean dogs? He said, yeah, I got a couple of dogs.
Here's Brennan Presley with all kinds of space.
Wow.
And he shakes his way inside the 20 for Oklahoma State. On a 28-yard hookup from Gunnar Gundy, who has found a rhythm here on this drive.
Brennan Presley is having quite the night quietly, if you think about it. Great route runner. Obviously, you see Stribling down there getting a block, right? Manhandling defenders, making sure that his receiver gets a chance to make a play after the catch.
Handoff. It's Elijah Collins breaking free for a touchdown. His first in a Cowboy uniform. 17-yard scamper to the end zone for the Michigan State transfer.
OSU's got those big bodies that just lean on you. And as the drive progresses, the defense starts to get tired. Starting to tenderize the middle of that defense. You can see them right there. They're just straight up trying to two-gap. Tight ends coming in motion down the hill, and it's got, I think you can drive a Mack truck through that hole. Well, that Mack truck had a 2.4 on it this time. Elijah Collins for 6.
9 plays, 93 yards, almost 4 minutes. Alex Hale in to attempt the point after. And now Oklahoma State starting to get some separation here. Gunnar Gundy capping off a beautiful drive with a handoff to the Michigan State transfer. Elijah Collins, 19-yard touchdown run. And it's 20-7 OSU. Oklahoma State capping off a 9-play drive with their second touchdown of the ball game, led by Gunnar Gundy, the son of head coach Mike Gundy. And when asked this week if we would see 3 quarterbacks potentially tonight, Mike Gundy did not nix that idea. And Gunnar Gundy orchestrating one of the better drives tonight for the Cowboys. Short kick, Christian Richmond on the reception, and a flag on the return. I mean, was there anywhere else Gunnar Gundy was going to go? His dad's been coaching here almost as long as he's been alive.
Absolutely. And this is a kid that turned down other FBS offers, right? A walk-on here at OSU to play for his dad, earns a scholarship, and next thing you know, this guy's leading this team. He was 12-1 in high school, so he can play.
His dad, of course, a quarterback here. Over half of Mike Gundy's life has been spent on this field, either as a player, a coach, head coach. It's got to be pretty special to have your son playing quarterback, leading your team down the field and putting some separation between you and your opponent in week 1. Flag on the receiving team, a holding call, and that backs them up just inside their own 15. Will McIlvain trying to lead another touchdown drive like he did in the 3rd quarter. Quickly gets it out. And a good pickup on 1st down. 8 yards on the reception by Christian Richmond.
Yeah, you got the OSU defender just playing off right now, giving plenty of space. But Will McIlvain is finding those little dink and dunk plays to get yards.
Big hole for Shunderick Powell. He picks up a 1st down.
As long as they're staying in 3rd and manageable, it's okay. That one right there was 2nd and short, completed for a 1st down. They're moving the chains, which is exactly what Nathan Brown wants to do.
Shunderick Powell averaging almost 6 yards a carry tonight. Closing in on 80 yards rushing. Dumped down to Austin Eldridge. And he gained 7 or 8 on 1st down.
Fake the dive, suck the defense in, hit the tight end in the flat.
You talked about Will McIlvain's efficiency, completing over 68% of his passes and over 200 yards passing tonight for the 2nd-year starter. Flushed and brought down, the 5th sack of the night for OSU. Big number 92, Nathan Latu, on the sack.
Yeah, JUCO played in 10 games last year. Getting in there, allowing some pressure.
3rd down and 6.
Almost a whole scale substitution here, that front 3. All new bodies, like we talked about, staying fresh, right? They're running an even man front up here now.
McIlvain under pressure, heaves, almost caught down the far sideline. He was looking for Miles Butler, and it was DJ McKinney on the coverage.
Tell you what, Jeff Roberson was breathing down his backside there.
Great coverage by McKinney.
Yeah, DJ
and
McKinney.
That is exactly why his defensive coordinator said they had to find ways to get him on the field. Redshirt freshman, played a lot of snaps tonight.
Very technically sound. Got his head turned around, put his hand where actually the receiver were to catch the ball. Tremendous play.
Presley, the return man. Carr and another deep punt. And Presley waves for the fair catch at the 20. We will step aside. Oklahoma State trying to close the door tonight in Stillwater on Central Arkansas. We've seen all 3 quarterbacks tonight. Garrett Rangel, the Michigan transfer Alan Bowman, and the head coach's son Gunnar Gundy. All 3 have played tonight. 2 have led drives for touchdowns. Bowman has led drives for 2 field goals. Still trying to figure out who the starter is going forward in Stillwater. Gundy lets it go, and it's caught inside the 50. What a catch and throw. Linking up for a big-time pickup, 39 yards.
Nice smooth delivery too, right? Knew where he wanted to go with the ball from the initial snap.
Jaden Bray on the catch.
Jaden knew he had his guy beaten one-on-one. What a tremendous play to give him big yards.
I'll tell you what, Gunnar Gundy's looking pretty good here in the fourth quarter.
He's not too bad at all. Look at him, just comfortable and poised in the pocket. That lefty delivering a nice, wasn't even a strike, just dropped a dime right in there.
First quarterback battle in Stillwater since 2019. Spencer Sanders, who transferred out, 4-year starter, led the Big 12 in total offense. Gunnar Gundy, 7 for 9, 106 yards. Has been marching this team down the field in the fourth quarter.
The pride of Stillwater High School.
Handoff.
Oh, look at this.
Big game. Ollie Gordon
goodness.
with the hurdle.
Looking like a young Matt Schumacher back in the day.
15 yards and a first down.
Look at him right here thinking he's running track downhill. Here's the hurdle, mister. Woo! Trey Green's wishing, whoa. Anybody get the license plate of that? Look.
Airborne.
Oh, look at here. Took a shot on that.
Ollie Gordon having a fourth quarter.
I'll tell you what, Trey was almost standing straight up too. He got some height on that hurdle.
Gordon with 7 rushes for over 50 yards. Popped off a 42-yarder that got called back earlier in the second half. Gundy, broken play, making chicken salad. Gundy down to this 2-yard line on the scramble. 15-yard pickup.
Give Jaden Bray tons of credit for sticking with his man, blocking right downfield. You don't usually see that from receivers, but he knew his quarterback had a chance to score, so he was going to go all out.
Hey, Gunnar Gundy's out here balling in the fourth quarter.
Can't say he dialed up his own number right there, but a little bit of a high snap, gets control, never thinks about throwing the ball, actually. Whew. Setting up nicely inside the 5.
Cassidy and Gordon in the backfield. To Gordon, punches it in for a touchdown. Second rushing touchdown of the night for OSU. Ollie Gordon, 3rd leading rusher a season ago. Having a night here in Stillwater. 6 plays, 78 yards. And they fed the running backs. Last 5 plays were all rushes, including Gunnar Gundy getting it down to the 2-yard line. And Alex Hale makes it 27-20 in favor of the home team.
Well, that's what they said they wanted to do, right?
Run the football.
Run the football.
That they have in the second half. It's a 20-point lead for the Cowboys in Stillwater. Welcome back to Stillwater, Oklahoma. Finally in the fourth quarter. Oklahoma State laying the hammer. 2 touchdowns led by Gunnar Gundy. And it's a 27-7 lead with just under 6 minutes to play.
To start the second half, the yardage comparison was ridiculous. I think Oklahoma State had 37 yards in the 3rd quarter at some point, right? And they were showing the fans in their faces. And now look at them. Got the uncorked cam just showing all the crazy lunatics having a good time now. Some of the fans have cleared out, but it's now becoming a score that we kind of thought it looked like, right? In the end.
Well, QB competition was the topic of hot discussion in Stillwater all fall camp. Mike Gundy telling everybody he might play multiple quarterbacks for multiple games. Here's a look at the sample size tonight. Brad, your thoughts?
Well, first off, it's not going to seem as efficient as it would be if one guy has the huddle, right?
Offside, number 15, kicking team. 5 yards will be added to the end of the kick. It's first down.
You got a number of different play calls coming from 3 different voices. You know, sometimes there's going to be some, you know, just discombobulation, if you will. But I think as they're now progressing through these games, going through a few drives, seeing who looks most comfortable, the picture will become more clear as the games go by.
Garrett Rangel got the start.
Yeah.
Gunnar Gundy coming in here to finish it up. He has a 6-play drive leading to a touchdown for 78 yards. And another drive that was 93 yards for a touchdown.
See Alan Bowman right there. Didn't seem too upset the fact that he's on the sideline, but I guarantee he wants to go in there and show everybody what he got. All this time McElwain here. Oh my goodness.
Deep ball, and he connects with Gerard Barnes inside the 25-yard line.
Yeah,
Central Arkansas not going away quietly.
Kenneth Harris getting beat in coverage.
46-yard completion.
We'll see some on that post route. Shoot, if he doesn't bring him down, that's 6 right there for Jared Barnes.
Central Arkansas,
Gerard.
they are going to be tough in their conference and in the FCS. Picked 2nd in their conference, which is a combination of WAC schools and ASUN schools forming this year for a football-only conference. Ranked in the top 25 in some of the FCS preseason polls. But Brad, you look ahead to next week. Oklahoma State going out to Tempe in the desert, taking on the Sun Devils. A Power 5 opponent. Do you suspect we'll see 3 quarterbacks again next weekend?
I would assume yes, because I think he wants, I'm saying Gundy and Casey, the offensive coordinator, want more than the 1-game sample size to see who can actually take them into conference play, right?
Sure.
It's not like this Power 5 game doesn't mean anything next week against Arizona State, but you really want to be fine-tuned and ready to go by the time it's time to start playing your conference opponents. So I'd say, yeah, let's see them all again. Because that sample size for Alan Bowman, I bet he wants to see a few more series, right?
They'll have Arizona State, then South Alabama, then Iowa State on the 23rd. Meanwhile, the Bears are putting together a heck of a drive here with under 5 minutes to play in the ball game, down 20.
It's the first time we've seen them put together a drive like this.
Could have been a lot closer of a ball game if you're just joining us. They had 2 touchdowns called back on their opening drive due to penalties. That drive ended in a blocked field goal, and then in the beginning of the second half they had a field goal almost blocked and resulted in a busted play. A lot of points left on the field tonight for the Bears. McElwain had it deflected. Great play, and again it's McKinney who might be the defensive MVP in the secondary tonight for OSU.
Yeah, with all those passes broken up. But I'm going to tell you what, as you see him right here keying in on his receiver, knew where he was going with it immediately, but so did the coverage. And McKinney's been everywhere, all over this field, which is the reason why, like you mentioned earlier, he needed to be on the field. They're finding a place for him. But the difference in this ball game are the mistakes that either one of these teams make. UCA didn't have any room for error. And those errors that they did make, they cost them scores, and they cost them potentially the ball game.
McElwain on 3rd and 5, dumps it out to Darius Hale, puts his head down and gets it up to about the 2.
First down.
And that brings up 1st and goal.
Oh, man.
Helmet pops off. He's got to come out. Hale over 2,000 rushing yards in his career.
Big boy.
They might have the most dynamic backfield in the country, but certainly at the FCS level between Hale, Powell, Kylan James, a couple of All-Americans, and then James might throw his hat in the ring in that conversation this year.
So is that backfield Lightning and Hale?
It's getting late here, folks. Oh, what a play. McElwain into the end zone for a touchdown, finding Christian Richmond rolling to his right, throwing back across his body for the 2nd touchdown of the half for the Bears.
I'm going to say with under 4 minutes, this is the consolation. Being within a couple of touchdowns of a Big 12 opponent like this.
But you know what? Nathan Brown probably going to be too pleased with the fact that his team didn't put themselves in a better position, because like we talked about, Brad, they left a lot of points on the field tonight.
They did, at least 3 touchdowns. You saw Will McElvain right there. Block kick, an extra point. They're going to score. They're going to bring it back.
Xavier Benson stays on his feet. Finally shoved down. And again, it's Corey Black coming up with the block. 2 blocked PATs or field goals tonight for Mr. Black, and he forced another botched field goal at the start of this half.
Coming from the, well, no, that was right up the middle. That was right up the middle. He didn't put his hands on the snapper, and he was able to get his big paws up in the middle, getting pushed in the middle. That's big old 96 right there. I'm gonna tell you what, there's a monster of a man. Who was that? Cody
Waldershide.
Yeah.
But Corey Black was in there as well, rounding the corner.
Yeah. Listen, this team matched up against UAC opponents. I'm liking their chances.
Yeah.
Especially from what they were able to pull off here today. They weren't scared, not one bit.
ASUN co-champs last year. Central Arkansas, they bring back 80% of their starters, 7 all-conference players, multiple All-Americans.
That's it right there. You just said it right there. All those all-conference players, All-Americans at that level.
Experience.
Yep.
Nathan Brown's going to walk out of here with an L, but
hey,
man, they showed a lot tonight in Stillwater.
Hello.
And honestly, until a couple of minutes into the 4th quarter, this was a 1-score game. They trailed by 6 at the start of the final frame. Jaden Nixon back deep to receive. Hands team is on for OSU. Expecting an onside kick, but they won't get one.
I think maybe Coach Gundy set it up for this type of game, talking about the uncertainty, the unknown, right?
Yep.
If he were confident about who he had in all the starting roles and in the lineup, then he could just, you know, he would go out there and just put together the type of performance that we would see OSU put up against a non-Power 5 team. But as we see here and looking at the Big 12 preseason media polls, of course, Oklahoma State right there in the middle.
Don't forget, this is a team. Now, granted, a lot of new faces. A lot of guys from last year's team have moved on, either graduation or into the portal. But they were ranked 9th in the country at one point, 7 weeks into the season. And then injuries mounted. The wheels started to rumble, ultimately falling off. They finished the year 1-5 in their final 6 games.
Yeah, how about 6 and 7 or 5 and 6 losing today? Baylor and TCU. So you know they're going to go up in the standings.
Baylor losing to Texas State. And of course, as we talked about in the first half, TCU getting a little taste of Coach Prime and Shedeur Sanders, who will be in this conference a year from now. All the realignment.
Yeah, but who has the worst loss, TCU or Baylor? I'm going to say Baylor, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Colorado, you didn't know what you were going to get. And Prime's obviously putting together a squad out there.
Now, that Baylor game's not over yet. Still 7 minutes left, and they trail by 11.
To Texas State. So don't leave that out.
Here's Elijah Collins, has already scored 1 touchdown tonight. 8-yard pickup for the former Spartan. He has had a winding career as well.
Yeah, he has.
You know, he was almost a 1,000-yard rusher his freshman year at Michigan State. Was a team captain last year, 6 rushing touchdowns. But in the middle of his career, Kenneth Walker, now a Seattle Seahawk, came to campus. Dealt with some injuries, did Collins, lost his starting role to Walker, graduated, looked for another home at the Power 5 level, found it here in Stillwater.
46 players of Spartans that rushed for 1,000 yards. Crazy.
1,500 yards in his career for Spartan. That is Jaden Nixon. 8-yard pickup. Timeout, Central Arkansas.
Their second of the half. It'll be a 30-second timeout. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute 53 seconds. 1 minute 53 seconds. Thank you.
Next Saturday, it's a Big 12 triple header right here on ESPN Plus. Start your day 2 p.m. Central with Brad and I. Out west in Provo, BYU hosting Southern Utah, then West Virginia rather, taking on Duquesne and Morgantown in the nightcap. TCU playing host to Nichols, trying to bounce back from a loss at home today to Colorado. For more information on these games as well as other sports across the Big 12, go to ESPNplus.com/Big12. Under 2 minutes to play. Gunnar Gundy, back at quarterback, has led 2 drives resulting in touchdowns in this quarter.
See how they moved to the even front? Both teams were running that 3-3-5 to start. You got 4 guys with their hand in the dirt. Or turf.
And it probably has a lot to do with that. Big chunks on the ground on a big hit by Dude Person. But Oklahoma State has just opened it up in the 4th quarter in particular. Going to the ground a lot more and picking up yards at 5, 8, 15.
But that's what they wanted to do last year, to be able to put ball games away, which they couldn't.
And Casey Dunn told us this year, not only have we put a premium on big plays, explosive plays, Brad, but running the football when the opponent knows we're going to run the football.
Yes. I think he said running the football when they want to run the football.
Yep.
Be a luxury,
and being able to do it.
Oh, you're taking me. Oh, how nice is that?
Best formation in football. Victory formation. And how fitting. It's Gunnar Gundy, Mike Gundy's son, who led 2 touchdown drives in the 4th quarter to put it away for Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy's going to walk away with his 28th consecutive, rather the program's 28th consecutive home opening victory in his 19th season as the head coach.
Does it matter the order and how they come out next week against Arizona State? If Gunnar starts next week, is that saying something, or we just?
You tell me.
I think it's saying something. I think he's going by this performance to see, you know, who's more comfortable starting the game. But like you said earlier, the defenders are tired. By the time Gunnar got in there, she might have saw, you know, a number of plays that could have tanked the defense. Especially when you got 3 different quarterbacks, 2 different quarterbacks that you've seen up to that point.
I think it makes sense to switch up the order for exactly the reason you just mentioned.
Yeah. No, you mentioned it earlier. I just repeated it.
Nathan Brown had his Bears ready to play tonight. Firm handshake from Mike Gundy. Earned his respect tonight, no doubt, and probably the respect of any FCS opponent watching this game tonight. Bears hung tough until the start of the 4th quarter. They trailed by 6 entering the final frame. Garrett Rangel got the start, led a touchdown in the 1st quarter, but it was Gunnar Gundy's show in the end. And he led 2 touchdown drives to put this game away. A 27-13 victory at home to start week 1 for the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, UCA came to play today. Even though they didn't come away with a W. That hard-fought win, the way that they played in the first half, particularly in the 1st quarter, could have had more points to put on the board than the 13 that they finished the game with.
9th consecutive season opening win and their 28th consecutive home opener win.
How about that?
Look at Alan Bowman, the Michigan transfer. All 3 quarterbacks played tonight, and they helped this offense reach 453 yards of offense tonight in front of a sold-out Boone Pickens Stadium. And we are now joined by the head coach, Mike Gundy. Coach, thanks for joining us. We got to see a little bit of everything tonight. Just for starters, your thoughts on your 3 quarterbacks.
Well, I thought they all played pretty good. You know, there's times that we didn't rush the ball as well. We did a better job of running the ball in the 2nd half. We had some drops, but I thought they all operated pretty good, made enough plays for us to win.
Coach Gundy, did you see what you expected to see in this first outing of the 2023 season?
Well, I wanted to rush the ball better in the 1st half. I was pleased with our defense. Once the game got going, we started tackling better. In the 1st quarter, we didn't tackle very well. They did a nice job of getting the ball out of their hands quick. I give them credit for that. But in the end, we made enough plays, and we were able to force a couple turnovers. We've got to play much, much better. But it's a good start for us to evaluate the guys that we played, the new guys, and get a feel for practice for next week.
Coach, one of the things you told us this week leading up to the game is that you just didn't know much about your team because so many guys you haven't seen play a game in an Oklahoma State uniform. I know it's only one game, but what did you learn about Oklahoma State football for 2023?
Well, it'll be fun to watch the video and kind of see where we're at. I know that we didn't tackle as well as we wanted to. We dropped the ball too much, and we didn't rush the ball in the first half. But we found a way to win the game. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. I'm certainly not going to cancel any practices next week. But I'm also not ever going to say that we're not glad to get a win. Wins are hard nowadays. So I give the guys credit, but we got a lot of work ahead of us.
How about number 12, Coach? Tell us about him tonight.
Yeah, I thought he played good. He had a couple throws early where he's a little high and wide. He looked like to me he was a little nervous, but then he settled down. He was able to make a couple plays with his feet. Running the ball, which is an advantage for him. He has the ability to run the ball. So I was happy for him, and I thought all three guys played good.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Congrats on the win. Good luck next week in Tempe.
Okay, guys. Thank y'all.
Oklahoma State gets it done. 27-13. Gunnar Gundy looked the part. 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Uber efficient. And he leads them to a 1-0 start. They will head to Arizona State next week. Power 5 matchup. Arizona State joins the Big 12 next year. A preview of what's to come between the Cowboys and the Sun Devils. Your final thoughts as we wrap it up in Stillwater.
A little close, I'm sure, for Polk Nation, but you know what? It's a good start, especially when you have so many question marks surrounding this 2023 team. They're off to a good start.
31 new scholarship players. We saw a bunch of them tonight in uniform for Oklahoma State. For Brad Hopkins, I'm Matt Schumacher saying so long from Stillwater. Final score, Oklahoma State 27, Central Arkansas 13. All games airing on the ESPN networks and streaming live or archived on the app. You can check out the replay there. This has been a presentation of ESPN.